And a good evening as we welcome you to the campus of South Dakota State University as the Pierre Governors take on the Brookings Bobcats in a very, very big Week 7 game as the Governors needing a win to keep pace with the top two of the Class 11 AA. And a good evening again, John Winkler alongside Greg Dean high up in the press box here at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium, the same sites. Just a few hours later than what we were last year on the middle of November when the Pierre Governors beat the Brookings Bobcats here at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium for the Class 11 AA State Championship. Brookings probably hasn't forgotten about that. The Governors probably haven't forgotten about it either, but maybe not so much on their minds as it is maybe for the Brookings Bobcats to try and get revenge here tonight. And it all starts with Josh Burai, the running back for the Brookings Bobcats.
Yeah, and Josh Burai is a transfer in from over in the Rochester, Minnesota area, and so he has really added a new dimension and a new specter to this Brookings Bobcats team. So far this year, he has rushed for over 900 yards in just 6 games, and it's not that he carries the ball a whole lot because on average he's only touching the ball about 12 to 13 times a game. He's averaging almost 12 and a half yards a carry. So he is a big play running back. He has the capability of scoring every time he touches the ball from wherever the Bobcat offense sets up on the field. So it will be up to the Governor defense. One of the strengths is their ability to stop the run. So it'll be strength on strength tonight here at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium.
And then you look on the other side for the Pierre Governors, they can counter with their own running back who scored 17 times so far this season on the ground, 18 times in total. McGuire Rasky with 801 yards so far through 5 games for the Pierre Governors, this being their 6th one, sitting at 4-1 right now. He's their counter, and he's going to get the ball a whole lot. And yes, he has the opportunity to make a big play out of seemingly every time he touches the ball. But this Governor team is built to have a long, methodical drive, and it goes from McGuire Rasky to start to McGuire Rasky to end.
Yeah, and kind of the I don't want to say the polar opposite, but McGuire Rasky more of a grinder in this offense this year, especially last week when 37 rushes, 6 catches, over 40 touches last week for McGuire Rasky. So just kind of a change in how the offenses operate. I mean, both have feature running backs, but I tell you what, McGuire Rasky has done everything that the Governor coaching staff has asked of him this year and then some. So we're gonna have a marquee matchup tonight of 2 of the best running backs in all of South Dakota.
And it's going to be a fun one here at the campus of South Dakota State University, Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium, the sites of only high school football here in the fall of 2020 as SDSU will start in the spring. We'll step aside for 2 minutes and come back with our first coaches interview. And that's going to be Brady Clark, the first-year head coach of the Brookings Bobcats. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today is KCCR, and today is KCCR.com. As we welcome you back to Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium, as we are set for kickoff, the Governors won the toss and elected to defer to the second half. So the Brookings Bobcats will start with possession as they're going to go from right to left on your radio dial, right to left on your screen on YouTube at KCCR Sports. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean. You're listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. 12 minutes are on the clock, and Greg, this has got the feel of a state championship game again here for these two teams. And it's going to be a lot of fun here tonight.
Yeah, it is, and in a lot of ways, even though you've got a lot of changeover in players, the philosophies and are going to be a lot of the same. I mean, we know what Steve Steele, we know what he likes to do. Maybe a little more balanced offensively this year than maybe what he's been in the past. Brookings is going to be a very physical football team. We saw it last year in the state championship game. They're going to come out and they are going to be physical again tonight. This is going to be a fun football game, John. I'm looking forward to the next couple hours.
Teed up on the 40-yard line, Karsten Miller will kick it deep. We're underway here in week 7 as it will go toward the sideline. Hunter Gray will receive it around the 7-yard line. He's up to the near sideline to the hash marks. He gets run over by his own man as he's dropped at the 28-yard line, and that's where Brookings will take over as Jackson Bowes will come out 30 of 57, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 521 yards. He averages 86.8 yards per game, but he's got Josh Barai in the backfield, averaging 152.8 yards per game, 12.4 yards per carry here this season. And Josh Barai will have his name mentioned a lot. On the offensive line, Brock Longville, Parker Theobald, Connor McLean, Dennis Davis Engen, and Magnus Nelson. The 5 guys up front for the Brookings Bobcats. We'll go through the defensive starters here for Pierre in just a minute. 2 receivers out to the right side. Barai will go in motion over out as there'll be a receiver. As there'll be a little pitch to the right side. It'll be taken by Tyson Brandt. And Brandt gets the first carry to around the 31-yard line. A gain of 3. And don't see that very often, that Brandt gets the first carry to open up the ball game.
Yeah, and as much as we're going to talk about Josh Barai tonight, Brookings actually has three other offensive players that have over 170 yards rushing. Keegan Fields, the senior running back at 194, Cole McCown, the junior running back split end at 292, and then Brand at 177.
2nd and 7. Barai will go in motion to the backfield. They'll give him a handoff to the right side. Actually play action. A quick throw. The catch is going to be made here on the near side to the 45 across midfield to the 45. Josh Nordsey gets the first catch for Brookings, and he goes all the way down inside Governor territory to the 42, and a first down for the Bobcats.
Yeah, and just great play action pass for Brookings coming out of that play. Barai goes in motion to the right, and Bowes just faked the pitch, sold the pitch really well, and then just had Norby coming across back the other direction, across the middle of the field. He was wide open, hit him on about a 10-yard crossing route, and then picked up about another 20 on the run after the catch.
Yep, 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Again, at 27 on that first down. Motion man, that's Barai. He'll get the handoff. He'll go up the middle. He gets through the first line. He's down inside the yard line. They're going to spot him just shy of the 30-yard line. A gain of 11 and a first down for the Brookings Bobcats as Barai on his first carry gets near his average of 11 yards.
Yeah, and this Brookings offensive line is very physical. They do a really good job, and that is what has opened up a lot of holes for Barai and these other Brookings Bobcat running backs. So nothing out of the ordinary, nothing we haven't probably expected so far.
1st and 10, they're called from the 30-yard line. A receiver out to the left side. Barai goes in motion again. They'll fake the pitch. They'll hand it off on a little end around inside the 25-yard line to the 20. Trying to cut to the side and stepping out of bounds at around the 7. It's Keegan Fields inside the 15, right at the 15-yard line. A gain of 15 for Keegan Fields, and it's 1st and 10 for the Bobcats again.
Yeah, Barai is going in motion on every play, and he is attracting a lot of attention from the Governor defense. And so right now, Barai is more of a decoy than he is the feature back in the offense, and Brookings is able to use that focus that the Governors are putting on Barai and go in other directions and really running away from where Barai is going in motion.
1st and 10 for the 14. It was a gain of 16 for Fields. Barai goes in motion again, though. Pitch to the right side. Barai gets it inside the right tackle. He's going to get tripped up inside the 5. Another first down and it's around the 4-yard line. A gain of about 10. Called a gain of 11 to the 3 for Burai.
Yeah, Burai comes out of the wing on the near side, on the left side of the formation. Again, goes in motion, just a pitch, and he's got a whole procession right in front of him, and he's not the biggest back. He checks in at about 5'11", 205, but he's got good speed, and so he's able to sneak through some fairly small holes and just found a couple of crevices inside of that convoy and was able to get 10 yards out of it.
Play clock down to 5, 1st and goal from the 3. Nobody goes in motion. Actually, no, somebody does go in motion. A broken play. The ball is on the ground. Going to be falling on, I believe, is going to be the Bobcats. Although Pierre's trying to say that they have it, but it's going to be 2nd down. As the Bows mishandled the snap. It'll be 2nd and goal from around the 6-yard line. A loss of 3 for the Bobcats.
Yeah, just a bad snap. Again, a play that Brookings was going to go to the right, and that's where when they have run so far, they have gone to the right on every running play. They have come back with a counter to the left, and they've come back with that play action pass coming across on the crossing route to the left. But the running plays have gone predominantly to the right so far for the Bobcats.
4 receivers split out wide. Man goes in motion. Burai's in the backfield with 4 on the play clock. And quick pass, a screen pass. The catch is made to the end zone and in for a touchdown. The Bobcats will strike first with 8:11 to play, as it is 6-0 here for Brookings.
Yeah, just a bubble screen out to number 12, Max Struck, the 6'1", 188-pound senior receiver, and just a bubble screen. And the Governors looked like maybe they were going to be able to cover that up initially, but Struck was able to find some daylight and snuck inside the pylon for 6.
7-play drive went 72 yards and a 6-yard catch for Max Struck. As on the kick is going to be Keegan Fields, as the extra point is going to be up and it is going to be good. So it is 7-0 here with 8:11 to play in the first quarter. Brookings strikes first on their first possession. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today is KCCR. Today is KCCR.com. Seven-play drive went to 72 yards and took 3 minutes and 51 seconds off the clock, and it was a Max Struck, a touchdown pass completed to Max Struck from Jackson Bowes. And it is the Brookings Bobcats on the board first, and the Governors have got to answer quickly because this Brookings offense is pretty darn good, Greg.
Absolutely, and they showed it. They were able to do just about anything they wanted other than the broken play initially on that touchdown drive.
As it'll be fielded at the 10-yard line for the Governors, right up the middle of the field, wrapped up by 3 different Bobcats, dropped around the 33, and the Governors will have decent field position here to open up their first possession.
Yeah, just right up the middle, and looked like there was a hole opened up briefly for the Governors on the kick return unit, but closed down fairly quickly. But the Governors do start in good field position, starting at their own 32-yard line.
As Lincoln Keenels is out here for the Pierre Governors. 7 for 128 so far, 1,158 yards passing. 8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Pistol formation, McGuire Rasky is in the backfield. High snap. Keenels is going to fall on top of it, and it's going to be a loss, and a big loss on first down. Just didn't handle the snap cleanly to Keenels. And it'll be 2nd and long here for the Governors as Jace Beestrom, Houston Lundy, Gunnar Gehring, Jacob Larson, and Denton Beck are the offensive line starters. Aaron Booth, Jack Merkwan gets the start after Zach Lettler is still hurt. Reagan Bolwig, the tight end, Colin Bergman, the fullback, as it is 2nd and 21, a loss of 11 on that first down play. Keenels will look to pass. He'll step up in the pocket. He's wrapped up, and he'll go down at the 20-yard line as he'll lose another 2. And it's 3rd down and 23 here for the Governors on their first possession of the ball game. Not exactly what they drew up here to open up the game.
Yeah, and we'll see Brookings blitz a lot out of their defensive sets tonight, and so look for a lot of short passes out of the Governor offense tonight. A lot of quick outs, short posts over the middle.
Two receivers on the near side for Keenels on 3rd and 23, going all the way downfield, looking for Jack Merkwan, and it's going to fall incomplete. As really Merkwan almost turned into a defender there, as in coverage was Jackson Krogman, and it'll be 4th down and 24, and it'll be a punt situation here for the Governors. They got to try and pin Brookings back deep from their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, and unfortunately not the start you wanted for the Pierre Governors to go 3 and out on their initial drive after giving up that initial touchdown drive to the Bobcats, not only going 3 and out, but also losing 13 yards on that drive.
So it'll be Keenels that will punt the ball away. Again, Zach Lutler had been doing the punts, but he's out with the shoulder injury that he hurt the last game. Almost was blocked, but it's not a good punt here for the Governors. It's going to take a high hop, and it's going to take a Governor hop. They're going to try and let it roll, but it's going to stay inside Governor territory where they pick it up at the Governor 47-yard line. So a short field here for the Bobcats as they quickly get the ball back, and the Governors went 3 and outs on their first possession. 6:47 left to go here in the first quarter. 7-0 lead for Brookings.
Yeah, just Bobcats were able to get some pressure up the middle and forced Keenholz to kind of rush that a little bit, and instead of driving the ball downfield on the punt, he actually had to get it up quicker than what he wanted to, and because of that, fortunately, the ball took a Governor roll after it hit the ground, but only a 27-yard punt for the Governors on that play, and the Bobcats will operate start their drive on the Governor's side of the 50-yard line.
They will take a timeout, Will Brookings, before they get that first snap away to start that drive. Brady Clark in his first year with the Brookings Bobcats. He takes over for Lee Schmidt, who got the team to the state championship last year, did not win the state championship. Obviously, the Governors got that win by 16 last year, and now Brady Clark has started his year and started his tenure at Brookings. You can't get any better than what he started, 6-0 so far here.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a coach anywhere and you can get 2/3 of the way into the regular season and be undefeated, that's a great start. And he's got a really good team to work with here. And Brookings was going to be good even without the transfers of Burai, and they also had another offensive lineman transfer in as well from Minnesota. And so Brookings, like I said, just went from being a good team to a great team with the addition of those two kids.
Yeah, and you look at where they sit in the Class 11 AA, it is Yankton, Pierre, and Brookings. Maybe not necessarily all in that order, but those are the top 3 of the crop here in 11 AA. After the timeout, 1st and 10 from the Pierre 47, working from right to left on your dial as Burai will go in motion, play action. Bose will throw. The catch is made here on the near side as Norsey makes his second catch. He's thrown out of bounds. And it's a quick first down, a gain of 17 for Nordsey on his second catch.
And what we've seen out of Brookings is that to start the year, this was a team that ran the ball a lot. I mean, they were running the ball about 80 to 90% of the time. But in the last couple of games, they've begun to open up the offense a little bit. And I don't know if that's an evolution of Bose as the junior quarterback, but they went from running the ball about 90% of the time to now they're throwing the ball 10, 12, 15 times a game.
1st and 10 from the 30, low snap. Bose has to pick it up. He's going to try and scramble and pick up some kind of positive yards. He's going to only lose 2, and it could have been a lot worse. They could have turned the ball over. It could have been a loss of 6, but Bose was able to kind of spin around and find his way to only the 32-yard line where he lost 2 yards in 2nd and 12.
Yeah, and Bose was lucky that he was able to get as much as he could out of that and only lost 2 yards because when that ball initially fell on the ground after the bad snap, it was about a 7 to 8 yard loss, and he had a couple of Governors right on his face initially, but Bose did a good job. He was able to scramble and avoid a couple of Governor tacklers and put the Bobcats in a 2nd and 12 situation. Like I said, could have been a lot worse.
Halfway through this first quarter, 2nd and 12 from the 32. Burai will go out to the flats in motion. A quick throw to the right side. The catch is made by Burai. Makes one man miss. He gets to the 30-yard line and inside the 30 to the 29 as they pick up about 3 yards and makes it 3rd and 9 here for the Bobcats.
Yeah, what I've noticed out of Barai so far is that he is the kind of runner that it takes more than one guy to bring him down. I mean, he does not go down on initial contact, and usually, and it looks like you got to get a second and even a third and a fourth tackler on the young man before you're able to get him to the turf over here at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium.
He's a very, very violent runner, is Barai, and he makes a lot of people pay if you're not going to be ready to make that tackle. 4 receivers, 2 on each side here for the Bobcats on 3rd and 9 from the Governor 29-yard line. Barai from the shotgun takes the snap, hit as he throws. It goes high over the top of the intended receiver, so it brings up 4th down. And now they're in a situation here. It's almost no man's land. You don't want to punt the ball away from there. It's a long field goal attempt, but it's a long 4th down here for the Bobcats to try and pick up.
Yeah, and good pressure up the middle on from the Governor defense that time. Colin Brueggemann out of his middle linebacker position, coming on the blitz and was able to get some pressure on Bose right before he threw the ball. And credit to Bose, he stood in the pocket and took the hit, but the pressure made him deliver the ball a fraction of a second before he wanted to, and because of that, he overthrew his receiver. And the Governors are now forced the Bobcats into 4th and 10 on the Governor 30-yard line.
As they're going to go for it here. 3 receivers to the right side and losing his footing and going down. Bose gets sacked, and the Governors will get the first down. They get the ball on the turnover on downs. And that's a big 4th down stop by the Pierre Governors as they did not get anything going offensively, and they get a turnover on downs by the Bobcats, and they take over at their own 34-yard line.
Jace Beestrom bringing the initial pressure on Bose, and it looked like he was getting ready to step up into the pocket and possibly deliver that pass attempt, but Beestrom able to bring some pressure and got his arms on there, and then got some help from a couple of other Governor tacklers, and the Governors are able to get the ball back on downs.
Rasky gets the handoff right up the middle. Makes one-man miss. He gets sort of tripped up, so he doesn't get all his full speed going, but he gets into Brookings territory down at the 43-yard line as he crosses midfield. Rasky was that close to breaking it to try and tie it up for the Governors.
Yeah, if Rasky doesn't have to make a move to the sidelines to avoid a Brookings tackler, if he can go straight up the field, it's just a foot race between him and Max Struck, who actually brought him down.
Gain of 23 on that play. Rasky on the 1st and 10, gets from the 43 to the 35-yard line, a gain of 8. That was his first run on that last play. And so now here we got to see a heavy dose of McGuire Rasky. That's the reason why the Governors are as good as what they are. It's 2nd and 2 here for Pierre, and I would assume we'll see McGuire Rasky a lot on this drive unless he scores pretty quick. 2nd and 2 from the 35-yard line. Handoff for Rasky coming on the blitz, and they're going to get him in the backfield for a loss of 1 to the 41. Actually, the near side line judge got him at the 41. The far side got him at the 42. And they're going to spot him at the 41. So a loss of just 1. And it's now 3rd down and 3 here for the Governors.
Yeah, and again, Brookings blitzes on virtually every play. So if you can get a hat on where those blitzers are coming from, you can slide past them in the middle, in between the tackles. And so that's what the Governors have found some success on in this drive.
From the pistol, Keno's clap did not get the first snap. Down to 10 on the play clock. 3:35 to play the first quarter. High snap. Rasky gets the handoff. He's going to sneak through the line. He's going to get up for a first down. Gain of 4 on 3rd and 3. And it's 1st and 10 for the Governors from the 32-yard line.
Yeah, and again, the Governors are finding success running up the middle in between the tackles, and again, just kind of an antithesis to what Brookings is tonight. Brookings likes to get Burai outside the tackles into space. The Governors are finding success running in the interior between the tackles, and we'll see if the Governors continue to probe that in the middle of the line.
Empty backfield here as Keno's on a design run. He'll cut inside the left side. The ball got loose, it looks like, but Keno's is down at the 30-yard line as he picks up around 2, and his 2nd and 8 from the 30-yard line.
Yeah, just that designed quarterback keeper. It's almost a power run out of that empty backfield. It's almost a power like you'd see if you had a lead back, but the Governors on that unbalanced line that they like to run, Keenholz just goes to the left and tries to turn it up at first daylight and got 2.
2nd and 8. Handoff for Rasky. He gets hit in the backfield. And it'll be at the 29-yard line. As it'll be 3rd down here for the Governors. Colin Brueggemann got the handoff.
Jackson Eck coming out of his linebacker position. Eck, the 5'11", 171-pound sophomore for the Bobcats in on that tackle.
The gain of 1 to the 29, so it's now 3rd down and 7 here for the Governors. Keno's look to pass, throws over the middle, catch is made, and to the 15, 10, Reagan Bullwick inside the 5, and he goes down inside the 5-yard line. And a big 3rd down conversion again for the Pierre Governors as he's down to the 3. A gain of 26 for Reagan Bullwig on his first catch.
Bullwig out of the tight end position, just on an out route. He had a lot of space, and again, we talk about how the Bobcat defense is going to blitz on every play, and just a quick out from Keenholz to Bullwig, and they found space and got it down inside the 5.
McGuire-Raskey inside and in for a touchdown, and the Governors are an extra point away from tying it up in the Wildcat formation. And McGuire-Raskey carries it in 3 yards out, and an extra point now. We'll tie it up with 1:36 to play here in the first quarter. An 8-play drive for the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, and again, very impressive drive after that first 3 and out. The Governors drove close to 70 yards on that play, 66 yards for the touchdown.
Carson Miller on extra points. It's a big extra point here in this game already here in the first quarter. The kick is up, and it is going to be good. 7-7. 1:36 to play in the first quarter. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. For the Pierre Governors, it was an 8-play, 66-yard drive, capped off on a 3-yard touchdown run for McGuire-Raskey. And the Governors have tied it up 7-7 with 1:36 left to go here in the first quarter. Greg, that is an outstanding drive of the Governors, and that is a big drive here late in the first to kind of keep pace with the Bobcats going into towards the second quarter.
Yeah, and as explosive as this Brookings Bobcats offense is, and we talked about in the pregame, they average right at about 43 points a game. You know that they're going to put points on the scoreboard tonight. So for the Governors to get down by a touchdown, and then come back and respond right away, that's huge.
Karsten Miller teed up as he will kick it from left to right on your dial here with 1:36 left to go in the first quarter. Back to the 5, inside the 5, the ball is going to go in the end zone, so it's going to be a touchback as it was mishandled by Gray. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the 20-yard line. And that, honestly, after Gray mishandled that kickoff, that's probably the best case scenario for the Bobcats to have a touchback because they probably weren't going to get to the 20-yard line at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what I've seen, and I don't know if this is by design or just the way it's worked out, but the Governors are kicking away from Burai, who's the other deep receiver on the kickoffs for Brookings there. And so I would assume that's part of the special teams game plan, trying to keep the ball out of Burai's hands as much as possible.
So it's 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. 1:33 to play here in the first quarter. Receiver the near sideline. And the wing formation. Burai goes in motion. Will get the handoff on 1st down. Makes the first man miss. And then he's driven to the ground around the 23, 24-yard line. Pick up of a couple here on 1st down. And that's what you got to do. You almost got to pound on top of Burai. You get a chance to tackle him, jump, and drag him to the ground.
Yeah, and again, just Burai is going in motion on virtually every play. He's set up, other than when he splits out wide, he's set up in that wing on the left side, and he'll come in motion. And like I said before, they tended to run to the right side most of the time tonight.
Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. They're going to pitch to the left side. It's going to be Keegan Fields as he's going to try and get to the corner. And he's going to get to that line of scrimmage before he's driven out of bounds. They're going to keep him in play and keep that clock as the forward progress was stopped at around the 25-yard line. So they'll pick up a yard, Will Fields, and it's now going to be 3rd down and 5 from the 25.
Yeah, and again, just after I said they run to the right, what do? They come back and run to the left, but they haven't had a lot of success coming to the left on the run game so far. So again, Burai going in motion from left to right on most of those plays. So you're going to see him gain most of his yards to the right side.
3rd and 5 could be the final play of the first quarter. Pitch, Burai drops the ball. It's going to be picked up by the Governors inside the 20-yard line. A fumble as Burai didn't handle the pitch well. And it's first and goal, or it can be first and 10 inside the 20 for the Governors with 7 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Big mistake from the Bobcats.
Yeah, and the Bobcats have had some trouble tonight. Both on they've fumbled a couple of bad snaps. That time it was just a bad exchange on the pitch between Bose, the quarterback, and Burai. Ball hits the ground. Recovery by Preston Taylor, the Governor nose tackle, and the Governors have a short field inside the red zone at the 17-yard line.
Handoff for Rasky up the middle. He's going to try and get to the left side. He's up to the 15-yard line, a gain of 2, and that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. Governors are threatening to take their first lead, and they'll have 2nd and 8 from the 15 when we come back to start the second quarter. We're all knotted up at 7 between Pierre and Brookings here at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium. Back in a minute. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. 7-7 here to start the second quarter. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium.
Quick score update from around 11 AA in Sturgis. The Scoopers lead the Mitchell Colonels 7-6 late in the first quarter. And in Huron, Yankton leads Huron with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter, 3-0.
Second and 8 from the 15-yard line to open up the second quarter. McGuire Rasky, 39 yards on 6 carries in that first quarter. Governors are looking to take their first lead of the ball game here on this drive. Pitch to the right side for Rasky. He'll cut it inside the tackle. He's into the 10, runs over a man to the 5, down to the 1-yard line, does not get in, but it's first and goal for the 1. We have an injured Bobcat around the line of scrimmage. They'll have the play stopped to check on the injured Bobcat. We don't see what the number is right yet, but that's a 14-yard gain for McGuire Rasky, and Rasky's trying to be that violent runner that Burai is.
Yeah, and just the same kind of pitch to the right side that we've seen Brookings run a lot tonight. But that time, Rasky took the pitch, went to the right side, cut up at first daylight, had a big hole on the right side. And then not only did he have a big hole in front of him, but he also ran through about 2 or 3 Bobcat tacklers and actually carried a couple of them inside the 5 all the way down to the 1.
As they get the injured up, not putting much pressure on that right leg. Again, can't see the number quite yet, as it looks like it might be Magnus Nelson, number 77, the defensive lineman for the Brookings Bobcats, also on the offensive line as well. So they're going to have to go to their second string lineman and for both defense and offense. First and goal from the 1. And the Governors can take their first lead of the ball game here. 7 seconds in the second quarter. Brookings, they're going to stack the box. They got 9 guys inside the box right now. Governors have a receiver on each side. Rasky in the backfield, pistol formation. First and goal from the 1, moving from right to left. Rasky will get the handoff, sidesteps one tackler, spins around into the end zone for another Governor touchdown. And it's 13-7 with 11:48 to play here in the second quarter. Chalk up number 19 on the ground for McGuire Rasky, 20 so far in the season.
Yeah, and actually put that and give all that credit to McGuire Rasky. He actually got wrapped up in the backfield at about the 5-yard line, just kept the feet driving, was able to spin, and with as violent a runner as McGuire Rasky is, was able to keep those feet churning and got all the way from the 5 to the end zone, even with a Brookings Bobcat defender on his back.
As the extra point is up and good, the Governors have their first lead, 14-7, 12 seconds into the second quarter. Back in 30 seconds, you're listening to Pure Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. A quick three-play drive went 17 yards, all on the hands of McGuire Rasky. Carried in from a yard out, and the Pierre Governors have their first lead at 14-7. Here in the second quarter, John Wickler alongside Greg Dean, just 12 seconds in. That's a big-time job there by the Pierre Governors to take advantage of a turnover, put points on the board.
Yeah, and this is the kind of game where you have to take advantage of every opportunity, every miscue that Brookings is going to hand the Governors tonight. The Governors are going to have to take advantage of that.
Carson Miller will kick it over to Josh Barai. He'll field it on the run inside the 15. He's out to the 25. He's tripped up as he's down around the 34-yard line. And Barai switched spots with Hunter Gray on that kick before there was the kick, so he was able to get that reception and try to. And he really, he picked up some good yards. They're going to actually spot him at the 33. And so it's a good field position for the Bobcats on their now fourth possession of the game.
Yeah, and again, the Governors were kicking away from Barai and on the first three kickoffs of the night, and so that time they kicked into Barai and a nice return for the 5'11", 201-pound senior.
So now the Bobcats will come out on offense, trailing for the first time here in the game. Quick pitch to the right side for Barai as he'll get to the 35-yard line. Cuts over a man. He's inside the 50, the 40, to the 35, to the 30. There's a flag at the line of scrimmage. Barai's going to take it all the way to the end zone for a touchdown, but that's going to come all the way back. Jackson Bowes, he's going to walk to the sideline, but nobody else. There's a couple guys celebrating with Barai, but it's a hold on the Bobcats, and that wipes off the touchdown. And that's a big penalty against the Bobcats. It was about to be a tie game.
Yeah, 67-yard touchdown off the board for Barai. But again, you have to contain Barai. We've talked about the fact that he has that capability. He can score every time he touches the ball from every point on the field, and that's a classic example of that. Just a pitch off to the right side, and again he got a convoy out in front of him. Got a couple of creases in once he was able to get up a full head of steam, and then it was just off to the races.
As it'll be first down and long here for the Bobcats. First penalty called in the game, and maybe here on the crowd mic, somebody say call both ways, ref. So one penalty in, and we've already had that comment. It's gonna be first and 23. It's gonna be first and 20 from the 23. As a man comes in motion to the near side, the left side of the line of scrimmage. Quick screen pass. Catch is going to be made by Struck. He gets run into by his own man and then driven out of bounds as he has to stay inbounds as he picked up a couple of those yards back from the penalty. As he'll get to around the 28-yard line, a gain of 5 for Max Struck.
Yeah, tackle made by McGuire Rasky out of his near side linebacker position, Austin Foley out of the middle linebacker position. But again, just the bubble screen. Nothing real fancy in the passing game so far for the Bobcats, other than just maybe that crossing route on the first play of the game. But so far it's been a couple of play action passes and a crossing route and a couple of bubble screens. So they're not real fancy, at least what they've shown so far, but they have been effective.
Second and 15, play clock down to 3. Fields goes in motion. At play clock down to 1, they able to get the snap away. Bowes is wrapped up. He's going to go down again, sacked again, and it's third down and very long for the Bobcats as he loses 2 yards back to the 31.
Yeah, Gunnar Gehring and looks like McGuire Rasky in on the sack for the Governors. And again, Governors look like they're able to get some pressure of their own on the Bobcats when they drop back into pass attempt. And so if the Governors can continue to bring that kind of pressure and not let Bowes get comfortable in the pocket, that should present some good opportunities for the Governors as this game goes on.
Third and 17 from the 31-yard line for the Brookings 31-yard line. As it is a 4-receiver set, 2 on each side. Looks like Bowes is going to try and go to the air here. He's going to look for a quick pass. Coming through the line of scrimmage was Bergman, and another sack for the Pierre Governors. And it's fourth down and long. Bergman came flying in, broke up the line of scrimmage, broke up the offensive line, and Bowes gets sacked again. As maybe Gunnar Gehring again there right away. Gehring, along with potentially as well Jace Beestrup, and the Governors are going to force Brookings to punt the ball away again.
Yeah, kind of a delayed blitz from Brueggemann. He just waited about a second and a half after the snap and was able to find a hole and he came right up the middle of the pocket and brought the initial pressure, and Bose was able to sidestep it for just a second, but then the rest of the pocket collapsed with Gunnar Gehring and McGuire Rasky.
It was 4th and 21 as it's going to be a fair catch called by Trey Lewis as he catches it at the 39-yard line, and a good punt there from the Brookings Bobcats, as looks like that was maybe Derek Brayler that made the kick. But either way, the Governors have it at the 39-yard line. And that's another big punt there from Brookings, their first punt of the game. But the Governors' defense has come alive here after that first initial shock from the Bobcats in their first possession.
Yeah, and so now we'll see what the Governors can do here. The fourth time they've got the ball tonight. They went 3 and out, but then have gone back-to-back touchdown drives since then.
And a handoff for Bergman. He'll get swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. And he'll be at the 39-yard line, maybe lost about a half a yard, but it'll still be 2nd and 10. Bergman, he doesn't get the whole. He's made a couple catches. He's got 3 receptions of the season. Doesn't really get the ball handed off to him a little bit. And they're trying to maybe work a little bit of Colin Bergman into the run game.
Yeah, and I think just an opportunity to give McGuire Rasky a little bit of a breather, and also just operate as a little bit of a decoy.
He's in the slot right now. Another handoff for Bergman. He's going to try to go outside the right tackle, and he's going to lose yards. He's going to lose 2. And it's going to be 3rd and 12 here for the Governors.
Yeah, just a straight handoff up the middle and nothing going up the middle. Bergman tried to bounce it to the outside, and when he did, he ran into a couple of Bobcat tacklers over on the right side of the formation. And the Governors are now set up in third and long, and we'll see if they can convert out of this third down formation.
8:05 to play here in the first half. 14-7 lead for the Governors. 2 receivers on the left side. Empty backfield here for Lincoln Keenholz. So look to pass. He's going to roll to his left. Keenholz still rolling with it. He's going to try and take off. He's going to try and get to the pylon, or not the pylon, with his stick, but he's going to be just short of it. He's got 2 yards short. He gains 10 yards, but it's going to be 4th and 2. Manageable here for the Governors, but they're on their own end right now. It's going to be 4th and 2 from their own 47-yard line.
Yeah, and I think this is a situation where you probably don't want to gamble, at least at this point with 7:49 to go here in the second quarter. You're on your own side of the 50, and so probably good right here. That it looked like, well, I thought they were going to punt, but it looks like they are going to go Wildcat formation with Rasky.
And one guy's still back deep for a punt, McGuire Rasky, and a timeout's going to be called by the Pierre Governors. Coach Steele maybe trying to get those guys offside, maybe get something lined up, and maybe make Brookings think about it. But Brady Clark maybe calling Coach Steele's bluff on that one, and haven't seen that play. We've seen just one Wildcat formation with McGuire Rasky, and that was for the touchdown run. That's really the only time we've seen it this year. They're going to bust it out on their own 47-yard line.
And it might have been a situation where we've seen Coach Steele try to get teams to jump off sides on a 4th down situation. Might have been a situation where maybe they were going to try to catch Brookings running guys on and off, trying to decide back and forth between whether it was defense or punt return, and Brookings held fast, and so the Governors take the timeout with 7:49 to go here in the second quarter. But tell you what, John, we said this was going to be a good game. It's been entertaining, just like we predicted.
Absolutely. 7:49 to play here in the first half. The Governors have 4th and 2 from their own 47. They showed like they're going to go for it. They were the ones that called the timeout, so now they're going to come back out here. Keenholz is walking back like he's going to punt the ball away right now, as he's going pretty far back from behind the line of scrimmage, and they're going to put that man back. And Keenholz is counting his players, making sure that. Well, I think they need one more guy. They have not started it quite yet. They have not started the play clock just yet. So they're going to get their 11th guy out on the field for the Governors. Keenholz looks like he's going to punt the ball away, unless they're going to run a fake with Bergman. Don't count anything Coach Steele says, as Keenholz will punt the ball away. Again, we'll go off to the right side of the foot. It's going to take a hop, and it's going to take a Brookings Bobcats hop, and they're going to pick it up. So it's going to be on the Brookings 41-yard line. And so didn't get the drum offside, ended up putting the ball away. And this is a gamesmanship between two coaches right now. and the Governors have that 14-7 lead as we get near the halfway point of the second quarter.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the Governors, just about a 13-yard punt, and so the Bobcats are operating on their own 41-yard line, and you just kind of hold your breath every time Josh Burrai touches the ball, and I got a feeling it's going to be a night when he's going to touch the ball more than just 12 times.
1st and 10 from the 41-yard line, moving from left to right on the Bobcats 41-yard line. Burrai will get the handoff. He cuts back inside the tackle. He's going to try and keep those feet churning. He's going to get to the 48-yard line, a gain of 7 on first down for Josh Burrai. And he's gotten 5 carries so far for 33 yards. And like you said, Greg, be surprised if he's under 20 at this point here in this at the end of this game.
And for the most part, the Governors have done a good job bottling him up. I mean, like I said, he came into this game averaging over 12 yards a carry. Right now, he's just over 5. So if the Governors can continue to not let him have the big play, they will find success tonight.
Pitch to the right side again for Burrai. He's going to get to the first down, cuts it into Pierre territory on the near side, tackled at the 45-yard line as he'll pick up 7 yards and a first down for the Bobcats.
And that's that same play that he scored the touchdown on earlier that was called back by the holding penalty, but it's just a pitch where he bows back deep into the backfield, and then after he gets the pitch, then he's able to turn, get ahead of steam, square his shoulders, and then he just kind of finds some daylight, and when he gets his shoulders squared and gets a full head of steam, he's a difficult runner to bring down.
1st and 10 from the Pierre 45-yard line now. Fields will go in motion. He'll get the handoff, trying to work to the left side. He's trying to get around Keenels. Fields will get to the sideline. He gets out of bounds, hit out of bounds at around the 31-yard line. A pickup of 14 and a first down for Bobcats.
Yeah, and the Governors did not do a very good job of containing the run on that opposite side. This time, again, just to keep the Governors honest, they went to the opposite side, did not bring Burrai to the right side of the formation, ran to the left side this time. Same kind of play on that pitch, and Fields was able to get a first down out of the play.
1st and 10 for the 31. Burrai will come in front of the quarterback and get the handoff. He's hit immediately, and he'll get maybe half a yard. They're going to give him a yard to the 30, so it's going to be 2nd down and 9. As Burrai takes a huge hit. He was a little slow to get up. And it's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, and just that inside handoff. Burrai, instead of coming back behind the quarterback that time, came in front, just an inside handoff, and then almost kind of a counter play where you get a lead guard out in front, and the Governors were able to sniff that out fairly quickly and clog it up and kept Burrai to just a yard gain.
2nd and 9 from the 30-yard line in Governor territory. Fields will go in motion. And had movement before the snap and the throw, and his catch is going to be made. Looked like either the Governors moved first or the offensive lineman moved first, but they let it go out. So Max Struck made the catch here on the near side, and it's 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line.
Yeah, there was movement on both sides of the line on that play, and I think you could have called a penalty either side, but the officials let the play go, and a nice throw from Bose to Struck, and the Bobcat offense is operating inside the red zone, inside the red zone at the 11-yard line.
Gain of 19 is 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Both teams are 100% inside the red zone. A combined 3 for 3 so far. 3 down linemen for the Governors. Burrai will go in motion. They'll fake the handoff. They'll give it to Keegan Fields. He'll try and cut it back. He's going to be wrapped up in the backfield. He'll lose a couple yards. Good job by the Governors, again, this time to contain Fields inside the tackle as he'll lose a yard to the 12-yard line.
Yeah, McGuire, Rasky, and Cord Ellis coming up to give run support. Ellis coming up out of his safety position kind of blew that play up and forced Fields to cut back inside. He was not able to get to the edge like he was on that play just a little bit ago, where he was able to get a good yardage, and so give credit to Ellis on coming up and giving the run support on that play.
2nd and 11 from the 12-yard line, and 2 receivers out to the left side as Fields will come in to be the one lone wing on this play. Man comes in motion, but a timeout is going to be called with 4 on the play clock, and Brady Clark's going to take a second timeout. You mentioned Cord Ellis, Greg, and Ellis got 23 tackles out of the free safety position, 3 interceptions, along with him and Gary Nedved, the only guys with interceptions so far on this team. But Ellis at the free safety position, he doesn't really care that he's on the free safety and he's the last line of defense. He's getting a lot of tackles here this year.
Yeah, and he's done a nice job in terms of coming up and offering run support. a lot of the teams that the Governors have played really emphasize run first, pass second, and so the Governors are able to kind of commit Ellis to the run more than maybe what they could if you faced a team that threw the ball more. And so Ellis has done a nice job in kind of playing almost that sixth linebacker position, because the Governors operate a lot of times out of that 3-5 defensive set. And so Ellis in a lot of cases comes up and offers run support almost as a sixth linebacker.
Give me second and 11 from the 12-yard line with 4:45 to play in the first half. As coming out of the timeout, the Governors looking for a goal line stand here. This is a big stop coming up here. If the Governors can get this the stop and maybe force a field goal, if not, try and beat Brookings, try and go for it on fourth down. Although again, with Josh Barai averaging 12 yards a carry, you would think at some point in the law of averages, if you give it to him the next 3 plays, he's going to pick up enough to score a touchdown.
Yeah, and the Bobcats can actually pick up a first down without scoring a touchdown, but they would have to do so by getting the ball inside the 1 yard line. So in all respects, this is probably second and goal from the 12.
As Bose will send Fields in motion. They'll fake the pitch or roll it out. Bose steps up. He's going to be wrapped up and sacked again at the 15-yard line. The ball almost came out. Actually, it did come out, and Bose is thankful his offensive lineman is able to fall on top of it. As they lose back to the 15-yard line, a loss of 3, and it's third down to the 15-yard line. 3rd and 14 for the 15, a loss of 3.
Yeah, and Bose with the fake pitch and then on the bootleg, and he got a lot of pressure from the left side of the Governor defensive line. I think it was Gunnar Gehring and Reagan Bolwig bringing pressure from the left side of the defensive line. Had to step up, reverse his field, and when he did, he ran into a host of Governor tacklers.
Barai will go out in motion to the right side. 3 receivers at the right side to the left. A quick pitch. Barai will make the catch. He's wrapped up immediately at the 15-yard line. It is 4th down and 14 from the 15. Barai gets nothing on that pitch on a screen pass. And now 4th and 14 for their 15-yard line. Looks like they're going to try for a field goal here.
Yeah, Barai just on that bubble screen where he's got a couple of wide receivers out in front of him that offer some protection for him, but McGuire Rasky and Cord Ellis snuffed that thing out right away and did not let him get going at all. And so now the Bobcats are going to try a 31-yard field goal.
Here comes a 31-yard field goal from Keegan Fields to try and pull them within 4. The kick is up, and it is going to be good straight through the middle here for Keegan Fields. 14-10 with 3:15 to go here in the first half. Governors lead by 4. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. It was a 9-play, 44-yard drive, as it was just a 31-yard field goal for Keegan Fields as he makes it 14-10. The Govs lead by 4 here with 3:15 to go. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean.
Quick score updates from around 11 AA. Mitchell has now reclaimed the lead out in Sturgis. They lead the Scoopers 13-10 midway through the second quarter. In Huron, Yankton in a little bit of a dogfight with the Tigers, up 6-0, also midway through the second quarter.
As the ensuing kickoff looks to go deep here to either Trey Lewis or McGuire Rasky. As it will be kicked out, and it should go all the way in the end zone. It will, as that one landed in the end zone. A good Theodopoulos. Hey, there it is. He's on the kick, not doing the field goal kicking, but doing the kicking to start the drive. He's my kryptonite.
Theodosopoulos. Theodosopoulos.
I don't know if that's right either.
I'm on the 4th try, and I think I got it right.
See, but I don't know if you did or not. I mean, I'm not saying I was right. I was definitely wrong, but I think that guy had the kickoff for the Bobcats.
That guy.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Keynoles will hand off for McGuire Rasky. He'll bounce to the right side, inside the hash marks to the far side, as he'll get to around the 27. to open up the drive for the Pierre Governors. 3 minutes to go here in the first half. And, Greg, as you look at this right now, this is probably a drive where the Governors want to take those 3 minutes off the clock and finish with points on the board because they get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, and on that play, just Rasky, straight handoff up the middle, not much doing, was able to bounce it to the outside, got some positive yardage.
A toss to the right side. Rasky gets the first down, past the 30 to around the 35-yard line. A gain of 8 and a first down for the Governors.
Yeah, just a pitch play to the right side and nice hole out there. Nice block by Jack Merquan out on that right side in his wide receiver position to seal the defensive back. And Rasky was able to turn it up at daylight and gain the first down after a gain of 8.
2:25 and counting here in the first half. 2 receivers, 1 on each side. Pistol formation. Rasky still in the backfield. 3 down linemen for the Bobcats. Showing blitz. They're going to come with the blitz, and they had the snap perfectly timed as in the backfield. Rasky gets dropped for a loss of 2 back to the 33-yard line.
Yeah, clock was turning. Stopped now at 2:15. I don't know. Now it's winding with at least the official is saying let's wind the clock, but now we've got some kind of an official's timeout.
Now the clock is winding here as it goes down to 2:10, and I think they've got it backwards here. They stopped the clock thinking they were running it, and now they're trying to stop it. Boy, now we got a big deal here because
the clock is still running.
The clock is still running, 1:55 and counting. The referees are talking about it. Now they got it stopped at 1:55. Now the referees got to figure out how much time should be on the clock, and then they got to get the play clock down to 25, and they got to start the clock on the whistle. And for Pierre, this is a timeout for them. This is a timeout for them to be able to talk about what they're going to do here next, and they basically have now saved a second timeout. They basically get 4 timeouts here in the half. Although now Coach Brady Clark wants they're going to talk to someone with a walkie-talkie to go back up to the upstairs to get the new clock at 2:02. We're going to have 2:02 left here in the first half, and the clock should start on the official's whistle.
Yeah, and you got to expect that the Governors are probably going to take a shot here at some point. They have the passing offense to do it. We know that Lincoln Keenholz can air the ball out given the opportunity. But the Governors are 67 yards away from pay dirt with only 1:48 in the clock winding right now.
Empty backfield here. They got a bunch of line together for Lincoln Keenholz. They're going to go over the reverse to Rasky. He gets to the 35-yard line, tripped up, and he gets to the 39. Boy, Rasky almost out at 38, where they're going to spot him as he picks up 6 yards as third down here for the Governors.
Yeah, nice play by Jackson Krogman for the Bobcats, the 6'3", 173-pound senior. If he doesn't come out of his linebacker position, Rasky has a whole lot of daylight and just has one Bobcat in front of him.
There's a big third down play here, 3rd and 6. Keenholz will look to pass. He'll throw. And he's going to throw right on the money for Aaron Booth. He's got a first down to the 40 to the 35 inside Brookings territory. Laid it perfectly for Booth to put the arms out to make the catch. And it's a first down for the Governors as they're inside the Bobcats territory now with 1:05 to go.
Yeah, Booth and Rasky both running out routes, just kind of deep out routes, and actually there was about 2 Bobcat defenders between Keenholz and Booth, and just a really nice touch pass from Keenholz just over the top of the Bobcats. And once Booth caught it, he had some running room down the sidelines. So the Governors now in business at the Bobcat 35-yard line with 1:05 to go in the second quarter.
Keenholz looked to pass again. He's going to roll to his right, throws almost intercepted. And it probably was the Bobcats player that ended up knocking the ball free of the intended intercepted man. That was going to be Gavin Fixon, who had the opportunity when it went off of one of the Bobcat players.
Yeah, actually, Keenholz looking for Reagan Bolwig on an out route to the far sidelines. Actually had Bobcats running kind of at Bolwig from both directions. And with that, they just kind of tipped the ball away from one another.
Keenholz will throw. The catch is made by Bergman. Flag's going to come in. And we'll see what the flag is. The Bobcat the fans were either happy about the tackle or the flag coming in. I'm not really sure which one. But they get to around the 34-yard line. It was a pickup of just 1. We'll wait to see what the flag is. Going to be a hold on the Governors. And so they either make it 3rd and 9 or back them up 10 yards. Actually, they're going to back them up a lot here. So they're going to go from the 39-yard line all the way back to the 49-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd and 24 here for the Governors.
Yeah, holding call from the spot of the foul, and so the penalty actually took place at the Bobcat 39-yard line. So 10 yards marked back from there puts the Governors in business at the 49 of the Bobcats. 54 seconds to go before halftime. Governors facing 2nd and really long. We'll see what kind of magic Steve Steele's got in his playbook here.
Receiver on each side. The clock is running. 2 timeouts still left for Coach Clark. Actually, 1 timeout left for Coach Clark. And they're going to take all the time off that they can here. With 2 seconds on the play clock. They're going to toss to the right side. Rasky cuts it to the 45, wrapped up around the 41-yard line with 20 seconds to go. As they pick up 8 yards, says McGuire Rasky. And maybe go for a call timeout here with 2 seconds left, and they go for a home run pass at the end of the half.
Would be an option. Clock is winding. We're down under 10 right now. We'll see if Coach Steele wants to use that last timeout.
Steele, it does not look like he's going to use that last timeout. Actually, he's going to call a timeout here with 1 second left. I believe he called a timeout with 1 second left. Yep, they're pulling the Brookings Bobcats back. They're going to say Steele. I think Steele said, I want a timeout with 1 second. And the referee blew the whistle with 1 second to go. And so the Governors, it looks like they are going to try a Hail Mary pass here.
Yeah, as much time as you spend around Coach Steve Steele and the coaching staff, you had that one called. You did a nice job there, John. And again, a good strategy call here from Coach Steele. Even if you give up a turnover here, barring the craziest return, in maybe ever, you're going to go into the locker room with at least a 14-10 halftime lead. If lightning strikes and you can potentially pull a touchdown out of this Hail Mary situation, you go in up 2 scores and you get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, as long as your offensive linemen know, if the ball gets intercepted, don't start running right after him. Kind of go and attack him, go at an angle and attack him. That way you drop him down. Don't let them take it 100 yards on a pick six, because you would think that they put Max Struck, Keegan Fields, Josh Dorsey out in the end zone for a hands unit to try and drop and block any pass that's going to go towards the end zone. Keenos has the strength to get it there. He's only got to throw it 41 yards, and even if he throws 38 or 39 yards, then get in the end zone that way too.
Governors are going to probably put 5 in the pattern here, so with the way that Brookings likes to blitz, this ball's going to have to come out fairly quickly.
Keenos will throw it towards the end zone in double coverage. It's going to go out of bounds, and that's going to do it for the first half as Keenos was dropped. And it'll bring up halftime. Governors lead a good one here, 14-10 at the break. Get ready for a crazy second half. We're some aside for 3 minutes, so we'll come back with some halftime stats for you. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Dana J. Dykow Stadium, as we are here at halftime, John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. 14-10 is our score. Governors lead by 4 here at the break. A touchdown run of 3 yards and a touchdown run of 1 yard for McGuire Rasky has given the Governors that 14 points. A touchdown run for Burry, and then as well, it was a catch by Struck. Yep, they gave them 14-7, and then Fields hit a 31-yard field goal to make it to 14-10. That's where we sit here at the break. Greg, right now the time of possession up on the scoreboard, 14:43 for Brookings, 9:02 for Pierre. Right now, Brookings in time of possession look like they should be winning, but overall, same amount of plays. The Governors are controlling the run game and nearly control the pass game as well. Passing game is the only reason why Brookings has more yards than Pierre does.
Yeah, and give a lot of credit to the Pierre Governor defense, especially the run defense. And we talked about that in the pregame, that was going to be one of the real key battles. Is could the Governor defense contain Josh Burrai and this potent Brookings Bobcat rushing attack? And so far, they've done a very nice job. I think I don't know what his numbers are right now. You can give them to us here in a second, but at least midway through the second period, he was about 5.5 yards a rush. That's less than half of what he was averaging coming into this game.
Yeah, he's 7 carries for 41 yards so far here on the evening, and outside of Fields getting 30 yards on 4 carries, it really. The Governors have done a really good job of bottling up, and we talked about it in the pregame. We talked about it kind of last week with Coach Steele. We talked about it in Coach's Corner in the pregame show. Run defense for the Governors is the strong suit, and that doesn't match up well for the Brookings Bobcats. Now, Brookings still running the ball well. Not going to take anything away from them and say that they're not doing a good job at all. But this Governor defense is built to stop the run, and we've seen this in the first half.
The other thing that the Governors have done well so far is when Brookings has dropped back to pass, and even though Bose is 7 for 7 on the night, the Governors have brought a lot of pressure on Bose, and they've sacked him a couple of times. They've forced Brookings into a couple of fumbles, either on bad snaps. Burrai put the ball on the ground once. Bose put the ball on the ground once that the Governors recovered. And so the Governor defense is really doing a nice job tonight. But again, don't get too comfortable. The Governors are only up 14-10. It's a 4-point lead. And we know that Burrai can score from literally any place on the field. So he's one of those kind of running backs that he can run the ball 19 times and not have a whole lot of yards, but it's that 20th time. If you let up and take a breather on one play, you take one play off as a defender, Burrai is going to burn you, and that's going to come back and potentially hurt the Governors.
You're listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station as we're past the 8 o'clock hour, as here at Dana J. Dykow Stadium, as also on YouTube at KCCR Sports. The Governors are 3 for 6 on third down, 0 for 1 on fourth down, but the Bobcats are 0 for 4 on third down and 0 for 1 on fourth down. So there's your difference almost right there. Is the Governors are able to pick up those third down conversions. When Brookings gets in a third down situation, they're not finding the way to get a first down. Yeah,
and again, the Bobcats have put the ball on the ground 4 times. They've only had the one turnover, but the one fumble that the Governors were able to recover deep in Bobcat territory that resulted in a short field and a 1-yard McGuire Rasky touchdown run. But other than that, give a lot of credit to the defense. And so this has been a very entertaining game in the first half. It's been a really physical game. I mean, these are 2 kind of smash mouth football teams. And I tell you what, the second half, if it's as entertaining as this first half, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to be a fun game to call in quarters 3 and 4.
Governors lead 14-10 right now here at the break. They've gotten 81 yards on 13 carries from McGuire Rasky. Just negative 1 yard for both Bergman and Keenels on 3 and 4 yards respectively, or 3 and 4 carries respectively. Keenels is 2 for 4 so far throwing the ball for 53 yards. Bullwig's got a 26-yard catch, and Booth has got a 27-yard catch. Those are the only 2 completions so far for their Governor team, as the only other completion was called back on a penalty too. So not a whole lot of passing from Lincoln Keenels, but the blitz coming through. and as you talked about, if you can get up the middle on a blitz that's coming around the edge, you have a lot of open space there in front of you.
Yeah, and again, if you can figure out where that blitz is going to come from and find a crack, and we've talked before this season about how good this Governor offensive line is. I mean, kind of the unsung heroes of this team. As good as the offensive line was last year, there was a lot of new faces on this offensive line, and so I think there was some maybe a little bit of a question mark as to how they were going to respond. Tell you what, those five guys on the offensive line are doing yeoman's work week in and week out, and especially tonight. 81 yards for McGuire Rasky so far in this first half. He's on his way to another big offensive night, and all of that credit, 100% of that credit, goes to those five guys on the offensive line.
And again, you probably hear the band playing right now. I haven't heard too many band performances at halftime, but it's nice to hear that in 2020 again, to have a halftime performance from the Brookings Bobcats band. That's just because of everything going on, there's not a whole lot of opportunities for a lot of these bands to get a chance, the marching bands to get a chance. So obviously, here in this game, 14-10 for the Governors, they get the ball to start the second half. This is a key drive for the Governors to go by 2 scores before Brookings gets the ball to start the third quarter.
Yeah, and so the first drive of the third quarter is going to be a key drive for the Governors. On the flip side, that first drive for the Bobcats will be key. If the Governors can go down and put some points on the board, then it's really going to be up to the Bobcats to respond. And if the Governors can continue to they don't even have to shut the Bobcats down totally, as long as they can contain that potent Bobcat offense. And again, we talked about in the pregame, they average 43 points a game. Right now, the Governors have held them to 10 and have held them to, I think, just a little bit over 100 yards offense. So I tell you what, if the Governors can just continue to do what they've done, not give up the big play, and luckily the one big play that Brookings was able to break got called back on a holding penalty. If the Governors can continue to contain, they should set themselves up to put themselves in a position to win this ball game.
Governors lead 14-10 here at the break. We'll step aside for 3 minutes, come back with a score update throughout the state. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium, the Governors lead a 14-10 over the Brookings Bobcats. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean here at the inside the Jackrabbit Network broadcast booth, where Tyler Merriam, who calls the games for the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, we're in their booth. And in the spring, for the first time ever, you can hear Jackrabbit games on today's KCCR.
Yeah, that will be really odd. That'll be the first square you can mark off on your 2021 bingo card.
You're exactly right. That's the FCS. Pretty much everybody in the FCS is playing in the spring, although most of FBS now play in the fall. But for the Jackrabbits, this is the only football you get to see at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium in all of 2020, which is crazy to say that it's all Brookings Bobcats football on Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium.
I think opening weekend for all the FCS teams is I think it's the third Saturday in February, and they'll run through an 8-game regular season and then coast toward I think it's a 16-team playoff that will eventually end up with a national championship sometime middle to the latter part of May. I don't remember the exact date, but yeah. Spring football will take on a whole new meaning this year.
Looks like it's after Valentine's Day. So if you're thinking about a Valentine's Day present to come to a Jackrabbit game, probably I guess you could get that and say, hey, here in a couple weeks, honey, we're going to go to see a Jackrabbit game. But Greg, to try and get through that pretty quickly, Greg, you got some score updates for us.
I do. Around 11 AA. Sturgis leads Mitchell out in the Black Hills 22-13. That game late in the second quarter. Yankton leads Huron 13-3. That game also late in the second quarter. Scores around the area. Sully Buttes 14-12 over Falkton late in the second quarter. Wall 35. Jones County White River 0 late in the first quarter. Lyman leads New Underwood 16-0 at the half. Tomorrow night, Hot Springs comes into Fort Pierre to take on the Stanley County Buffaloes. So if you're looking for something to do tomorrow night and you're a football fan, head on over to Ole Williamson Field and watch the Buffaloes as they will host the Buffaloes host the Bison tomorrow night. There's something for you.
I was going to say, how can I make that a pun in my story on Monday after however that game ends up? But a chance to go to Ole Williamson Field to watch Stanley County. May not be the last time you see them on that field. It's the last home game of the regular season, but they might squeak their way into a home game in the first round of the playoffs as well.
Yeah, Bison and the Buffaloes, I'll predict the Thundering Herd's going to win that one. I'm not sure which one, but the Thundering Herd by at least one.
I don't think the Marshall's playing, though.
Well, that's
there you go. Able to get that in there for you.
Around double A, 11 AAA, O'Gorman leads Watertown 31-15. That game late in the fourth quarter. Harrisburg, Sioux Falls, Lincoln tied 21 at half. Aberdeen leads Rapid City Stevens 13-0. That game also at the half. And Sioux Falls, Roosevelt, and Rapid City Central game has been canceled because of an outbreak of COVID amongst the Rapid City Central Cobbler football team. So those are your scores from around Central South Dakota, 11 AA, 11 AAA so far tonight.
And we might have the best game of all the states here going in the second half. The Governors, they lead 14-10 over the Brookings Bobcats. This is an all-important game. The winner of this game will most likely secure at least a number 2 spot in the AA playoffs, as Brookings has to go play Yankton, but if Pierre loses it, there's pretty much no way they're going to get a 1 or 2 spot. Yankton right now, they're in a good spot to be 1 or 2, but Brookings, if they get a win, they're putting themselves in to be the number 1 or 2 seed going in the playoffs.
Yeah, and you may ask yourself why might you be playing for the number 2 seed with the state finals being at a neutral site this year? Again, with the renovations done down at the Dakota Dome, down at the University of South Dakota, the state championships moved back to the campus of the University of South Dakota, and so at the neutral field. Really, the only difference between the 1 seed and the 2 seed, if both those teams make it to the state championship, is what color jersey you're wearing and what side of the field you're going to be on the sidelines. So really, if you can be either 1 or 2, what you do is you assure yourself a home semifinal game. And this year in 11 AA, there are 4 pretty solid teams. We talked about 2 of them here tonight, Brookings and Pierre. Yankton also undefeated coming into the night. Mitchell has played really well so far this year, even though they're just 3-3. They're only a couple of plays away from being 5-1, maybe even 6-0 if they get a couple of breaks. And so we know Mitchell is a good team, and we will see them next week, homecoming week for the Governors next week.
Yeah, it was postponed from a couple weeks ago when the Governors were supposed to play Spearfish. That was the homecoming game, but they had the game prior to that canceled, so they decided, let's not get everybody back to going here that quickly yet. We'll wait a little bit, and the Governors will now have homecoming next Friday against the Mitchell Colonels, and we'll have that for you right here on today's KCCR, KCCR.com, and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. And if you're watching on KCCR Sports right now, that's a beautiful look of Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium from where we're sitting at in the press box right now.
Absolutely. This is just a fabulous field, and we talked about it as you and I were walking around on the field before the game. Just a fabulous facility, probably one of the nicest facilities in all of FCS football at the collegiate level, and really just is a treat to be here to play a high school game here on the campus of South Dakota State University.
14-10 lead for the Pierre Governors over the Brookings Bobcats. We'll step aside for 2 minutes, come back with the kickoff of the second half. You listen to Pierre Governor football. Today is KCCR. Today is KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium on the campus of South Dakota State, we are set for the second half. The Governors will get the ball to start the second half, and they are going to look to try and take a two-possession lead. A field goal will put them back up by 7, a touchdown, and any kind of conversion, even if they don't get the conversion, will put them up by 2 scores and will drastically change the way that Brookings most likely will play the second half, because yes, they like to run the football, and yes, there's going to be 24 minutes still left to go in the game. But you go down by 2 scores to Pierre, you shouldn't freak out, but a lot of teams start to freak out because then you feel like you're about to be suffocated by this Governor team.
Yeah, and again, this Governor team can do a lot of different things offensively. They have shown us before earlier as we've gone through the season. They have probably one of the best passing offenses in 11 AA this year. We've seen the talents of McGuire Rasky, and what McGuire Rasky does well is not only does he run the ball, he runs hard, and I think he's only got 1 fumble this year. I think that was out in Sturgis, if I remember right, first game of the year. And so Rasky has good hands. He's the leading receiver on the team, so he does a lot of things well. If the Governors do go up by 2 scores, you got to think you got to think that we're going to get a heavy dose of McGuire-Rasky in the second half.
We'll probably see a little bit more standing around from the Pierre Governors, too. They don't like to stand around too much, but they have a 2-possession lead against this Brookings Bobcats team. They see the play clock on both sides. There might be a lot of standing around for the Governors, waiting for that play clock to run down. We're underway on a low line drive kick. It'll take a couple of hops, and it's going to roll all the way to the 1-yard line. And the Governors are going to pick it up at the 1-yard line. Trey Lewis for the 5. He's going to get to the 9-yard line. It stopped on the 1, and so the Governors were unable to get that touchback. And that's a big play to open up the third quarter. That's going to go well for this Brookings Bobcats team, as the Governors have to go 91 yards to try and score to go up by 98 yards. It's going to be at the 8-yard line, or excuse me, 92 yards.
Yeah, and again, a low line drive that I think Trey Lewis thought was going to probably get to the end zone, and just perfectly placed. You couldn't place it any better if you ran down there and just sat it on the 1-yard line. The ball just died inside the 1, and so no touchback. Lewis had to pick it up and get what he could out of it, and got it out to the 8-yard line.
Toss to McGuire-Rasky. There's a big first play from scrimmage. He gets to the 19, as it's going to be enough for a first down. A gain of 11 for McGuire-Rasky. Now 8 yards away from breaking the century mark here in this ball game. 14 carries, 92 yards from McGuire-Rasky.
Got the Governors a little breathing room on that pitch to the right side, and again, it's a play they've run very effectively so far tonight.
Rasky again, another handoff. He's got past the 20 to around maybe the 22, 21-yard line. And it'll be a second down and around 7 or 8 for this Pierre Governor team. A minute gone by in this third quarter.
Yeah, and again, the Governor offensive line doing a nice job. Rasky can go inside, he can go outside. We've seen him be very versatile so far tonight, and the Governor offensive line has done a nice job of allowing Rasky to find some room in between the tackles.
From the pistol formation, Knowles will look. He'll pitch to the left side for Rasky. Gets a good block. He's out to the 30-yard line, cuts to the near sideline, and he's going to be out of bounds past the 35 to the 37. As that's a big gain of 16 for McGuire-Rasky, and a first down for the Governors.
Yeah, just first time we've seen the Governors run the speed option tonight to the near sideline, and just a really nice job, nice decision by Keenholz to give the ball up, and then Rasky got a nice block out here. I think it was Jack Merkwan out here in his wide receiver position that was able to seal the defensive back to the inside and let Rasky bounce to the outside and pick up some additional yardage.
Play action here for Lincoln Knowles. A roll to his right, throws, and it's undercut and intercepted. And Brookings has the ball inside the Governor territory. Read the right route perfectly, and an interception looks like for Gavin Fixon.
Yeah, Gavin Fixon, the 5'10", 143-pound junior, just read the play. Keenholz trying to find Bolwig on an out route, and Fixon just came from the outside and just jumped the route and was able to cut inside at the last second and intercepted the ball. And now the Bobcats have the ball at the Governor 40-yard line, and time for the Governor defense to rise up here.
From the pistol, Fields goes in motion. They'll pitch it to him to behind the line of scrimmage. He's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage, and he is hit back as they're going to get the 4 in progress. Stopped at the 42. A loss of 2 on that first down play for Fields.
Yeah, just again, and that pitch, you can about see where the play is going to go the majority of the time, depending upon where Brookings goes in motion. That time it was Fields in motion from the right side of the formation to the left side, got the pitch, and the Governor defense did a good job of contain and was able to push him back for a loss of 2.
End up being just a loss of 1. They're at the 41-yard line. So 2nd and 11 here. Fields will go in motion. They'll go past the quarterback. And now Bowes will look to pass. He's wrapped up by Bolwig, and he goes down. Another sack, the 5th one of the game for the Governors. And we talked about the defensive line and the blitz that comes from the Bobcats, averaging around 6 sacks a game. And all of a sudden, the Pierre Governors have 5 here tonight.
Yeah, Bolwig out of the stand-up defensive end position, outside linebacker position, kind of that hybrid position that he plays on the near side, just came on a straight blitz, and Bowes just did not have any time in the backfield. He got about 3 steps into his drop, and Bolwig was right on his back.
0 for 4 on third down of the Bobcats so far in the game. 3rd and 16 from the 46-yard line. They're going to go for Burry. go for the near side. Murray's to the 40. He's going to cut it to the 30, 25, and they pick up a first down as Murray goes down inside the 20-yard line. Where are they going to spot him? Right at the 19. A big gain of 22 for Josh Murray on 3rd down and 16.
Yeah, and there's that pitch play to the right side where comes in motion and bows around the back of the quarterback and just takes the pitch. And like I said before, what he does is then he gets ahead of steam. He's able to square his shoulders, and when he does, he's able to find a crease. And then a lot of times it just ends up being a foot race. And luckily for the Governors, they were able to get him out of bounds, but not until he got inside the 20.
Well, 1st and 10 for the 19-yard line. As Fields will get the handoff on 1st and 10. He'll cut it pass to the left side. And Keegan Fields will get to the 12-yard line. Again, a 7. And it's now 2nd and 2. They're 2nd and 3.
Yeah, just that almost that's identical play to what they ran on the first play of this drive. This time, Fields was able to cut up at first daylight and was able to get some positive yardage out of it. And so the Bobcat offense, Governors had them backed up 3rd and long, and Burri converts the first down. And now the Bobcats are operating at 2nd and short on the 12-yard line.
Burri will go in motion. They'll give it back to him behind the line of scrimmage. He is wrapped up. He's dropped in the backfield, but behind the 15-yard line. Be a loss of about 4. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 7 for the Bobcats.
Yeah, good penetration by the left side of the Governor defense. Reagan Bolwig there to make the tackle, but got good penetration and help from Gunnar Gehring and Jace Beestrom, who blew up the play on the interior of the line. And you got to figure that Josh Burri has not been thrown for a loss very many times this year, but a big play right there puts the Bobcats 3rd and long at the Governor 15-yard line.
Burri will go in motion. They'll fake it, look for a pass. Bowes will throw, looking for the end zone. One-handed grab is dropped as the intended target was Jackson Hoffman, and it'll fall incomplete, and it's 4th down from the around 16-yard line, and they're going to try for a field goal again. Fields will maybe come out for another opportunity.
Yeah, coverage by Tristan Curry over there on the far side, and actually in pretty good coverage was Curry, and Bowes threw a nice ball, but just out of the reach of the intended receiver, and so the Governors look like maybe they've stiffened up and held here on this first drive of the Bobcats here in the second half.
32-yard field goal attempt for Fields. The kick is up, and it is going to be good again from Keegan Fields. 7:23 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Governors still lead. They lead 14-13 over the Bobcats. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. Back in 30 seconds. So Fields has made a field goal from 32 and 31 yards as is 14-13. The Bobcats have scored 3 times. The Governors have scored twice. But because of the 2 field goals, the Governors still lead by 1. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean here with 7:23 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and right now the Governor bugaboo this year has been interceptions and turnovers, and that's what bit them that time. We'll see if they can respond to a little adversity. They're up 1, 14-13 here just about midway through the 3rd quarter, but a big drive coming up here for the Governor offense.
Yeah, the Governors have got to find a way to get in the end zone, put some points on the board here on this drive. They'll start from the 20-yard line as that one did go into the end zone on Theodopolis' kick. Still didn't get that one right, but it's 1st and 10 for the Governors either way. As maybe again see a heavy dose of McGuire Rasky on this drive. 1st and 10 from the Pierre 20. Receiver on each side. Handoff for Rasky. He bounces off the line of scrimmage. He's going to go back to the 16-yard line. They're going to spot him with just a loss of 2 to the 18. As he has 108 yards on 17 carries, and not the start, though, that the Governors were hoping on this drive.
Yeah, and straight handoff, and the left side of the Bobcat defensive line just bottled up that play, and the Bobcats were bringing pressure from the right side of the formation that time.
Bunch of the line of scrimmage up here. Keenels will look to pass on second down. He escapes the pressure. Keenels will take off with it. He's out to the 25. He's dropped around the 26, 27-yard line. So it brings up third and manageable here for the Governors as they picked up those 2 yards and then some out to the 26. So bring up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and a nice decision by Lincoln Keenholz to pull that ball down, and he had a lot of space there on the right side, on the far side of the field outside the hash marks, but a nice open field tackle by Jackson Eck for the Bobcats got him on the ground, and the Governors now have a 3rd and manageable.
There's a big 3rd down here, 3rd and 4. 3 receivers out to the left side. Looks like they're going to bring a blitz here for the Bobcats. 8 guys in the box. Quick throw. Nobody is there for the Governors. The catch is still going to be made by Jack Merkwan. He's got a 1st down. I don't think Merkwan realized the ball was going to come his way, but he came back to make the catch, and he gets to the 32-yard line. A big gain of 5 and a 1st down for the Governors.
Yeah, and I think what that play was set up to be was a bubble screen to Rasky, who was set up in the inside of the slot. And like you said, John, Bobcats brought heavy pressure on the blitz, and Keenholz had to deliver the ball before he wanted to. Probably overthrew Rasky, but when he did, Merkwan was able to get the ball and actually pick up the 1st down. So credit Jack Merkwan with a real heads-up play there.
Rasky from the 32-yard line will lose 2 yards back to the 30, so it's now 2nd and 12 again here for the Governors.
Yeah, and the Bobcat defense come out of halftime, and they're doing a lot better job in terms of bottling up Rasky. He has not found a lot of running room so far in the second half.
5:10 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 12 from the 30-yard line. From the shotgun, Rasky is off to the right side. Keenholz will pump fake. Now he's going to step up with it. He's out to the 32, that original line of scrimmage. He goes down at the 32-yard line. So it brings up 3rd and 10 here for the Governors.
Yeah, and what Keenholz was trying to do, he was looking for Jack Merkwan on the near sideline. Governors put 3 in the pattern on that play and was not able to find an open receiver. 3rd quarter, up by 1.
They're at their own 47 here, 1st and 10 for the Governors. Pistol formation. Bergman right behind the line of scrimmage. Receiver on each side. Rasky in the backfield. Keenholz, he goes the wrong way trying to get for Rasky. So Keenholz will have to take off. He gets to the 49, 48-yard line, a gain of just 1. And a miscommunication between either Keenholz, Rasky, or the coaching staff on what they wanted to do on that play. But they do pick up still 1, and it's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, Rasky went to the left. Keenholz thought he was coming to the right, and when Keenholz realized that the play was broken, he just turned it up, got what he could out of it.
Handoff for Rasky right up the middle inside Brookings territory. He'll carry 4 Bobcats with him for a 1st down to the 41-yard line. A big, strong run from the senior Rasky, and it's a 1st and 10 for the Governors.
Yeah, Rasky had a nice hole on the right side thanks to the Governor offensive line, but give him credit because he carried about half of the right side of the Bobcat defense the last 4 yards for that 1st down.
They're moving quickly on the Governors. Right up the middle again for McGuire Rasky. This time he gets hit and dropped as he'll be around the 38-yard line. One of the defensive linemen a little slow to get up here for the Bobcats. And he might not be able to get up before they have to call for an injury timeout. It's a 3-yard gain for McGuire Rasky on 1st and 10. 2nd and 7 here from the 38. 3:05 left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Wes Koenig, the Bobcat that was slow to get up plays the middle linebacker position, key position for the Bobcat defense.
Handoff again for Rasky. Up the middle again. Slips through that first line. As he takes a big hit, he keeps moving forward as he gets to around the 31-yard line. That's enough for a 1st down, and looks like Wes Koenig might be down again. And another Bobcat. There's 2 Bobcat players down. Rasky, looks like a shoulder for one of the Bobcat players. Might be Jackson Krogman. Yeah, he's on the ground. They're looking at maybe Wes Koenig again. It was a pickup of about 8 yards to the 30-yard line for McGuire Rasky. And Krogman went straight with the shoulder right to the head of McGuire Rasky, and that one is going to sting and possibly more for Krogman.
Yeah, and Krugman delivered a real solid blow on that play, and McGuire Rasky delivered one right back, and unfortunately for Jackson Krugman, he took the brunt of that play, and he's down, and I think you're right, John. I think it might be Wes Koenig is the other Bobcat down. He's still down on the ground. Krugman now up, walking off under his own power, but he's holding that right arm like it definitely is a shoulder injury of some kind. So the Bobcats could be down two of their starting defenders here with 2:50 to go in the third quarter, and the Governors up by 1 and driving.
Yeah, it's not too often that you see two different guys down on the same team after one play, but Koenig was real slow to get up right before that last play. He got up and kind of got his way back to the huddle, but then came back down in the Governor backfield again, just where he was on that last play. And they're still looking at him here as he's around the 37-yard line, and that will be helped up to his feet with 2:50 to go here in the third quarter.
And he is walking off, but he has one of the Bobcat coaching staff on one arm, and he's got the trainer on the other arm, and he is definitely woozy. So the training staff also working on the right shoulder of Jackson Krugman. So you got to wonder if they will return tonight as we get late in this third quarter, because those both look like significant injuries for the Bobcats.
1st and 10 for the 30-yard line as we get back to football here for the Pierre Governors as they have it in Brookings territory. Had a third down conversion that wasn't completed, but a roughing the passer kept the drive alive. Rasky with a handoff up the middle again. He slips through. He's inside the 25, trying to keep moving to the 20-yard line, and he's right at that line to gain for a first down. I think it will be a first down for the Governors, and it will gain a 10 for McGuire Rasky. 1st and 10 inside the red zone now for the Governors.
Yeah, just a small hole on the right side, and once Rasky got through that first line into the second level, was able to make a jump cut and was able to again get to that first down marker.
Rasky a handoff up the middle. He's not going to get too much moving forward as he gets bottled up around the 17-yard line, a gain of 3. And McGuire Rasky so far on this drive has carried it 7 times on the 11 plays that they have gone so far here for the Governors.
Yeah, and again, the Governors doing all this drive in between the tackles.
A toss to Rasky on the right side. He's going to try to get to the 15-yard line. He will. And maybe the 14-yard line. So it's 3rd and manageable here for the Pierre Governors. Be 3rd and about 4. 3rd and a long 4 here for Pierre from their around 15-yard line. Called a gain of just 3. And say 3rd and 5 for the 15. This is an all-important play here on 3rd down for the Governors. A touchdown would be huge in this situation to go at least up by 7, if not by 8. Wildcat formation. McGuire Rasky, he'll take the snap. 2 guys behind the line of scrimmage. High snap. Rasky bobbles it. He's going to get back to the 15-yard line. So it's 4th down from the 15. Maybe Karsten Miller comes on for a potential field goal. Well, it looks like maybe the Governors are just going to try and go for it here. No gain on that play.
Yeah, fourth and about 5, and no movement from Karsten Miller on the sideline right now. And so looks like the Governors are going to roll the dice on 4th and 5 and try to put at least one dagger in the Brookings Bobcats right now.
Same formation. Looks like maybe they'll run the same places. It didn't go anywhere the first time. Rasky will go to the right side. He's going to try and get to the edge. He's wrapped up. He is down. A flag comes in very late. Maybe a face mask that will keep the drive alive again for the Governors.
Yeah, and he got wrapped up high by about 2 or 3 Bobcats, and there was a couple of them right up around Rasky's helmet. So this could well be a face mask because I did not see any other Governors in the area. So if you got to believe that this is going to be a penalty on the Bobcats.
And nobody from the defense is moving from Brookings, so the drive looks like it's going to stay alive again here for Pierre. That is a huge play. A personal foul face mask goes half the distance. Goal to the 8-yard line, and it's 1st and goal here for Pierre. 2 plays here in this drive gone against Brookings on penalties, and the Governors have kept the drive going.
Yeah, and 2 big mistakes, and we talked about it earlier, John, that the team that makes the least mistakes or the team that capitalizes on the other team's mistake is going to win this ball game. And right now, the Governors are the ones that are capitalizing on the Bobcat miscues.
Bergman will get the handoff. He's inside the 5-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and goal here from around the 3. A gain of 5 for Colin Bergman. And maybe they're going to try and get Bergman to punch one in here. 2nd and goal from the 3. 18 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Handoff again for Bergman. Up the middle. He's to the 1-yard line. He's not going to get in. Maybe the 2-yard line where they're going to get him. And this might be the final play. Might have been the final play of the third quarter. A gain of 1 for Bergman. So it's now 3rd down and goal from the 2. And that will take us to the end of the third quarter. The Governors lead by 1, 14-13. A 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. Upcoming when we come back in a minute. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. Twelve minutes on the clock, 3rd and goal from the 2 when we restart here. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean here at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium.
Got scores from around AA. St. Thomas More, midway through the third quarter, leads Douglas 28-6. Sturgis continues to lead Mitchell at halftime, 29-20. Spearfish 6, Belfouche 3 late in the second quarter. Yankton 20, Huron 3 midway through the third quarter. And Sully Buttes 28-18 over Falkton, that game at the half.
3rd and goal from the 2, the 16th play of the drive for the Pierre Governors. They have gone a long way here to try and score. I formation from under center for Keenels. Rasky in the backfield. Handoff for Bergman. He is not going to get there. And it's 4th down from the 2-yard line. And you've got to this point right here. The Governors are going to try and go for it on 4th down and goal from the 2.
Yeah, and I think that's the right call. I mean, they have had a lot of positives running through the middle of this Brookings Bobcat defense right now. And just as I say that, the Bobcats are going to lose another defender. I think this is number 60, Parker Theobald, the 6'2", 248-pound senior defensive lineman. So you take a lot of beef out of the middle of that defensive line, probably when you need him the most. And so this Bobcat defense is starting to lose some bodies. I think Krogman is back on the field, so the shoulder injury was not as bad as maybe what we thought. But 4th and goal, this is the key play of the game so far for the Governors.
They're going to go for the pistol formation. 4th and goal from the 1. Play clock down to 5. The Governors have got to get the play off in time. 2 receivers out to the right side. Handoff for Rasky. He's been at the line, and he's not going to get in. And it brings up a turnover on downs, and the Bobcats down by 1. Now have to go 98 yards, but the thing is they're only down by 1. They hold strong on the goal line stand against the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, and the Bobcats read that play. They assumed the Governors were going to come up the middle. That's where they'd found the success on that drive, was coming right up the middle. Brookings brought two backers in on the blitz, and they stacked Rasky up in the backfield. He was not able to get anything going, wrapped him up right away, and so the Bobcats will take over at their own 2-yard line. So now, big drive of the game for the Governors. Time for that defense to rise up.
1st and 10 from the 2-yard line to open up this next drive, and a flag's going to come in. I think the Governors were offside, and unless Brookings jumped, but I think it's going to be an offside call. Maybe Josh Rouse jumped in there just a little too early. And that's big. The Bobcats will pick up 5 yards, and it's 1st and 5 from the 7-yard line now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you just give the Bobcats a little breathing room, and so now they've got a little bit of room to operate. Even though they're only at their 7-yard line, they do have a little bit of room and can maybe open up the playbook a little bit. But, you know, like we've said all earlier tonight, Josh Burai can hurt you from any spot on the field. Right now, you hope it's not from the 7-yard line, from the Bobcats' own 7-yard line.
1st and 5 from the 7. Burai will go in motion. He'll get the handoff on 1st down. He's wrapped up, and he's going to fall forward. That's what he does best. He gets wrapped up, but he's not going to go down right away. He'll pick up 3 yards around the 10 and bring up 2nd and 2.
Yeah, just a handoff, and this time more of an off tackle play, just able to get his shoulders square and more off the tackle rather than that pitch play where he really tries to bend it to the outsides that he's found success tonight.
10:34 left to go here in the 4th quarter. A 1-point lead for the Governors. 2nd and 2 from the Brookings 10-yard line. Man in motion, that's Fields. He'll get the handoff. He'll slip through the inside the tacklers. He'll go to the 15, 14-yard line. A gain of 4 and a 1st down here for Brookings. And that clock stopped momentarily, but they will start it right back away again. It's almost like we're playing an NFL game, how quickly that clock gets started again.
Yeah, and that time just kind of the mirror image of that previous play. This time Fields with the handoff coming back around to the near side and was able to pick up enough yardage for the 1st down, and the Bobcats are operating, finding a little success. Unfortunately, half of that 1st down yardage came as the result of a Governor penalty.
1st and 10 for the 14 now. Burai will go in motion. Handoff. Actually, it's Burai that was in the backfield. He's not going to get much of anything, maybe a half a yard. And I'll bring up 2nd down. And we'll call it 2nd and maybe 9 for the 15.
And again, right now, the bulk of the Governor defense has got to be eyeing Josh Burai. You can see that the Bobcats are looking to see if they can maybe break Fields loose on a counter play coming opposite of where Burai is, but the focus has got to be on Burai for the next 9 minutes and 10 seconds.
2nd and 10 from the 14. Burai goes in motion. They'll pitch it to him in the backfield. Burai will slip through one tackler. He's out to the 20, past the 20 to around the 21, 22-yard line. That's a big gain on 2nd down, and it's 3rd down and short here. 3rd and 2 from the 22-yard line.
Yeah, and again, there's that pitch play. Governors have done a pretty good job of stacking that thing up. But again, Burai able to square those shoulders and get some positive yardage once he's able to turn the corner and get to the edge. And so if the Governors are going to shut him down, they've got to do a little bit better job of containing that pitch play to the right side.
3rd down and 2 from the 22. 8:30 to play here in the 4th quarter. Governors lead by 1, 14-13. Burai goes in motion. They'll fake it to him. Play action, throws downfield, looking for Fields. They got him to the 45, to the 40. Trying to chase him down is Jake Mayer. He's not going to get him. Fields will take it all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. And Brookings has the lead, 19-14, with 8:13 to play here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, just a deep post route. They fake Burai on the pitch to set it up with that play before where they pitched the ball to Burai on the right side. This time it was a fake. The Governors bid on the fake. Fields coming over across the middle of the field on a deep post route. Bose had a lot of time, and because of that, he was able to hit Fields right in stride. And 78 yards later, the Bobcats have the lead for the first time since the 1st quarter, up 19-14. With the extra point pending.
And they're going to go for 2 to try and go up by 7. And this is a big play here because if the Governors get a stop, all they have to do is score to take the lead back. But if they don't stop it, then they got to score and get the extra point to tie it up. Burai goes in motion. They're going to fake the pitch. They're going to throw. Pass is tipped, but it's still in the hands. And a 2-point conversion is good. And it's 21-14 here for the Brookings Bobcats. With 8:13 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Back in 30 seconds, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. It was a just 5-play, 97-yard drive for the Brookings Bobcats. It was a 77-yard pass from Bose to Fields, a 78-yard pass from Bose to Fields, and it is now a 21-14 lead for the Bobcats over the Pierre Governors. John Wiggler alongside Greg Dean at Dana J. Dykow Stadium in a fantastic game here coming down the stretch.
Yeah, and now we'll see how the Governors respond to a little adversity. They have not trailed very much this year. So the last time they trailed was down at Yankton. We'll see if they can come back and find a way to pull this game out here with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Lewis to the 25-yard line. He gets hit hard. He's out to the 27, and the Governors have decent field position here on this drive. Also, that for the Governors, that was Brock Mosier that got to the 27-yard line. Now, let's not forget here, Greg, this last drive the Governors had, they had an 18-play drive. They turned the ball over on downs, but they got 2 big penalties from Brookings to keep the drive alive. So, yes, the Governors drove down the field, but they got a little bit of help. They can't expect the help here on this drive.
Yeah, and the Governors have not thrown the ball a lot tonight. We'll see if maybe that gets changed up here on this drive.
Brookings has to take a timeout. They had 12 guys on the field on their first play of scrimmage here on defense, and maybe a little bit everybody's a little amped up here at Dana J. Dykow Stadium. This crowd's it's a sparse crowd for the Governors, who again had to be sold by tickets. So with a 19,000 stadium, somehow they had to sell tickets, and the seating capacity was very limited, so to maybe like 1,000 people or something. I don't even know, but Brookings has a lot of people here. They have a lot of fans here. It's gotten pretty loud here for this Brooks team.
Yeah, and the fans are spaced out every other row. They've split the sections into 2, so you really have fans all the way from about the 20-yard line to the 20-yard line here on the near side. The Governor faithful across on the far side on the visiting sideline. For the most part, between the 30s. But again, like you said, very amped up Brookings crowd. They are really beginning to smell a potential victory. But the Governors have the ball. They've got an opportunity to put some points on the board. Starting this drive at their own 27-yard line with 8:07 to go here in the fourth quarter, down by 7, 21-14.
Remember that timeout. They only have 2 left now to the Bobcats if it comes down to needing that third timeout. Going in motion was Rasky. Keno's wrapped up on a design run. And it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
Keenholz is hurt.
Yeah, Keno's, that tackle looked a little odd. Keno's will get back up.
Yeah, there was a blitz out of the linebacker position. John Nortsey, 6 foot, 208-pound senior, came on a hard blitz right up the middle, and Keenholz is going to go off for at least a play, and so we'll see what the Governors do here. Is this going to be? I believe it is. Cade Kaiser, the 160-pound freshman, will come on for at least a play to operate the Governor offense.
He's going to line up as the quarterback, pistol formation. The freshman will take the high snap. It's a snap that gets away. Kaiser is able to fall on top of it. Keno's going to probably come back in here, but it's 3rd down and very long here. The thing is that Steele kind of came out on the field, but the referees pulled the play dead really quick, and Keno's has to come off for a play because they stopped it for an injury for him. And so I don't think Keno's really wanted to come out. It's loss of 9 there by the Governors, but that's a big play to bring a freshman in this late in the game, and that's a tough play for a freshman to make. Now Keno's back in on 3rd and 20 from the 17-yard line.
And we'll see if the Governors can pull a rabbit out of their hat here on 3rd and long.
Keno's will look to pass. He'll throw over the middle, overshooting Bullwig, and it'll fall incomplete. Bullwig got hits after the pass went over the top of his head, but it's now 4th down and 20 here for the Governors. They're going to have to put the ball away, and now they desperately need a defensive stop here with 7:13 left to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and unfortunately not the drive you wanted for the Governors. They needed to put some positive yardage underneath them on that drive, and now again the Bobcats will get the ball in pretty good field position. So this is going to be a big drive for the Governor defense. We'll see how they respond.
That's a big punt there. It looked like it would be a big punt there from Keenholz, but it takes the Bobcat hop and just dives to the 50-yard line. So around a 33-yard punt, but it's 1st and 10 here for the Brookings Bobcats. And again, the Governors need that defensive stop here. They cannot go down 2 scores with 7:04 to play here in the 4th quarter, because if they do, I almost guarantee that Brookings probably going to take 5 minutes off the clock to do that, unless they score right away.
And the big difference here between the second half and the first half is the Bobcats have not shot themselves in the foot, either with penalties or when they have gone back to pass. They've provided Bose with good pass protection, and so they have made the adjustments coming out of the halftime and done the right things.
As a reverse and a big hit, Bobcats looking for a penalty on maybe Cordell is coming in at the end. Austin Foley was the man that made the tackle, as Fields will lose a couple, lose 3 back to the 47-yard line.
Just a counter play to Fields, and what the Bobcats did was they faked the pitch to Burai after he went in motion, that pitch to the right that they've had a lot of success with tonight, and just handed the ball off on the counter to Fields coming back, and Foley blew it up and kept him for a loss of 2.
As that one, Fields tripped over. He got tripped up. No flag will come in. It's 3rd down here. I don't know if, and I couldn't really see, Fields went down pretty quickly. I think he just either tripped over someone's foot, tripped over his own feet, but it was incomplete. Otherwise, Fields could have had a touchdown. If he doesn't trip over anybody, I think he's going to go for a touchdown, because the Governors were playing real far up.
Yeah, and just a play action pass where the Bobcats just a straight dive, and Bose doesn't even drop back. He just straight dive, and then just kind of a stick route just right up the seam, and like you said, Fields tripped and went down, and the Bobcats wanted pass interference on that play and didn't get it.
Burai will get the pitch to the right side, trying to get to the corner. He's going to get shoved out of bounds. He's not going to get the first down, as he'll be to around the 45-yard line. He picked up a good 8 yards, and it's 3rd down and around 5 here for the Bobcats. And I think they're going to go for it. 4th and 5. Well, maybe they're going to put the ball away.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the best decision for the Bobcats with 6:19 to go and leading the Governors 21-14 here in the 4th quarter. Any kind of a decent punt is going to put the Governors deep inside their own territory to try to make a long drive to try to tie this game up.
And the Governors don't have anybody back. They're going to expect for a fake here to be happening from this Bobcat team, and they will punt the ball away, as it will take a hop, and it will take a Brookings hop inside the 15-yard line. It's going to roll all the way to the 13, and the Governors now have to go 87 yards for a touchdown with 6:08 to play here in the 4th quarter. And as was 6:08 left, just about a minute ago, it felt like maybe there's about 3 minutes to go. Now the Governors have 6 minutes and 8 seconds to go down and score just once. That's a long time here. The Governors don't have to be in any kind of hurry, but they got to start moving forward here on this drive.
Yeah, and we haven't seen the Governors really hit a big play tonight. I mean, we had a 25-yarder to Bolwig in the first half, and we had a 27-yarder to Aaron Booth, but those are really the 2 biggest plays of the night for the Governors.
Rasky make a catch out in the flats. He's going to be wrapped up around the helmet as he goes down around the 14, maybe 15-yard line. A gain of 2 for McGuire Rasky. Just his first catch of the game, as Keenholz is now 4 for 8 for 61 yards here so far in this game. Only 8 times through the air. And it's going to be 2nd and 8 for the 15.
Yeah, and just that swing route to Rasky as he was in the slot and wasn't able to get very much out of it, just a couple.
Empty backfield here again for the Governors. Keenholz look to pass. He'll throw over the middle. The catch is going to be made out on the middle of the field, and enough for a first down to around the 34-yard line. As that's going to be Jack Merkwan to make another catch. And that's a big play out to the 34, gain of 19.
Merkwan out of the wide receiver position on the far side of the field, just a post route, had a lot of room in the middle, and give credit to Keenholz. He sat in the pocket, waited for Merkwan to come open, and there he was.
Keenholz will throw the flat again. Rescue will make the catch. He's going to try and keep moving forward. He's going to dive to the 35. It's going to be a gain of 1 on that first down catch. So Rasky's been bottled up on his 2 grabs of just 3 yards so far in his 2 grabs. 2nd down and 9 from the 35.
Yeah, again, big play by Gavin Fixon, the cornerback on the far side for the Bobcats, 5'10", 143-pound junior. He's got the interception tonight. He's made a couple of other big plays, big open field tackle on Rasky right there.
Empty backfield, 3 receivers to the right side. Keno's looked to pass. He's going to throw, looking for Bullwig. He overthrows Bullwig, and it's now 3rd down and 9. And this is a big play upcoming here for the Governors. 4:32 to go. They have all 3 timeouts, so they can use them again. Use them if they don't get this first down, have to punt the ball away. But you want to try and pick up this first down here, down by 7 with 4:32 left.
Yeah, Bullwig on a deep flag route to the outside, and he had 2 guys running with him. He was open, and Keenholz just missed him, overthrew him, and the Governors are now facing 3rd and 8 here with 4.5 to go in the game.
Empty backfield again. Keno's look to pass. He'll pump fake. Now he'll step up. He's wrapped up and he's sacked as he's down all the way around the 31-yard line. And the Governors are going to try and move kind of quickly to punt the ball away as they lost 4 yards back to the 31. And this is a punt for the Governors coming up. And then they're going to have to start using their timeouts because the Brookings will eat all that clock up if they let them.
Yeah, that was a coverage sack. I mean, Keenholz had time to throw, and the Bobcats dropped 7 that time, and the Governors put 5 in the pattern, and they just didn't have an opportunity to have enough find an opening.
This one will be a punt that goes out of bounds, as we'll see where it's going to be. The referee will be at the 39, and he'll walk it forward up to the 46-yard line. That's where Brookings will start their next possession with 3:51 left to play. And this is, again, here for the Pierre Governors. They got 1 stop. Now they have to get a second one. This is the ball game right here on this drive. If they can't get a stop, Brookings is going to win.
Yeah, and whoever wins this ball game, these are 2 really good football teams. They've given us everything we've expected tonight. We'll see what happens here in the last 3:51.
As the Bobcats will get to Burai in motion, they'll hand off, go on the right side, and Burai will make 2 guys miss. He's wrapped up right around the line of scrimmage. They'll pick up a gain of 1 to the 48 to 47-yard line. Maybe right at the line of scrimmage. No gain there on that first down run.
And more importantly for Brookings, Burai stayed in bounds, and so the clock keeps rolling, down under 3.5 to go now.
So Steele not using that timeout quite yet. They're going to see if maybe they can get a stop here on second down, maybe force 3rd and long. If they can, that's probably where they're going to see 2 of those timeouts being used. Try and have strategy with those 3 timeouts to try and give the Governors the most chances to get a stop and get the ball back here late in the game. Fields will go in motion to get the handoff. He's going to go with a sweep to the right, to the left side. As he's going to get past the 50-yard line, his knee goes down inside the 45 or outside the 45. They're going to get him at the 46, so it's 3rd down and 1. And Steele will not use that timeout quite yet. It was a gain of 9 there for Fields.
Yeah, and again, just with a lot of focus of the Governor defense on Burai going to the left. This was Fields coming back on the counter the other way, and he was able to get to the edge and found some running room. Fields has pretty good speed and was able to outrun a couple of Governor defenders and was able to now set the Bobcats up 3rd and short with 2.5 to go now in the game.
You think Steele will use a timeout no matter what happens here on this next play. Burai will go in motion. They're going to hand it to them in the backfield. He's going to get a first down. He's going to get inside the 40-yard line, and Steele's going to have to take a timeout. I think that's going to be his first here, the 38-yard line. Well, they haven't used the timeout yet, as it's 1st and 10 from the 38. So maybe they're going to wait here 1 more play before they take that timeout.
Yeah, play clock down under 30. Bobcats can run the game clock down to about 1:40 before they have to snap this ball. And so with 3 timeouts left, regardless of what happens on this play, you got to figure that the Governors are going to take that timeout and use all 3 of them here on the next set of downs.
Very much a first down will win it here for the Bobcats. 1st and 10. Move a man in motion. Hand off the left side. Fields again. He's going to get a block. The 35-yard line. He's going to try and tiptoe in bounds. He stepped out of bounds. He picked up a first down, but he stepped out of bounds. As at the end, it was a tackle made by Austin Foley. I don't know if you heard the whistle or not go, but it's going to be a first down inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. A gain of 11 again.
And now the game clock is very much the enemy of the Governors, and the Bobcats have a first down. Governors will have to use all 3 of their timeouts now. And the other thing that does not play into the Governors' favor, we've seen Josh Fields kick a couple of field goals tonight. He's got a pretty good leg. If Brookings can get about another 5 to 10 yards, they can probably put this ball in on Josh Fields' foot and potentially put this game out of reach.
On the first down play, Steele take a timeout. 1:29 left to go. As it'll be a gain of maybe even lost a yard here. As it'll be a loss of 1 to the 28-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 11 after the timeout taken by Coach Steele. 2 timeouts remaining, 1:29 left to go.
Field goal from here would be 45 yards. There's really not much wind tonight. At least I don't see the flags on the goalposts moving much. The flag, the American flag over in the northeast corner of the stadium is not moving either. And so from right here, it would be a 45-yard, 46-yard field goal. That's probably out of Josh Fields' range. So the Governors really need to, the defense has got to step up here. I mean, they have got to contain any kind of first down, like you said, John. Probably ends this game for the Governors. And so right now, it's all on the defense. It's all on that front 7 right now. The defensive line and those linebackers to try to contain Josh Burai and Fields. And Keegan Fields and try to force the Bobcats into turning the ball over on downs.
Be 2nd and 11 from the 28-yard line. 1:29 to go. Coach Steele with 2 timeouts left. Again, a first down now at this point will win the ball game for the Brookings Bobcats. From 2nd and 11, it'll be a handoff right up the middle, not going anywhere. It's going to be. Looks like Burai from the backfield, not going to go anywhere. And it'll be 3rd down and around 10, a gain of 1. Actually, nope, he didn't gain a yard. And it's now 3rd and 11 with 1:24 left to go. This is the play of the ball game right here. And again, Greg, as you said, you're looking at around a 44-yard field goal here for Keegan Fields. That might, if you're the Brookings Bobcats, you might just say, let's go for it. Because if we get it, we go by 10. If we don't get it, Governors still have a long field to drive instead of trying to pick up that first down, unless it's 4th and 1 or something like that. But if they don't get another yard, you might as well try for it by 10.
Yeah, and I think this is 4-down territory for the Bobcats. It's probably outside of Fields' range. So right now, minute 24 left in the game. Governors down by 7, 21-14. Bobcats have the ball at the Governor 28-yard line. 3rd and 11 facing the Bobcats right now. If you can get, if the Bobcats can get down to maybe even to the 20, somewhere between the 20 and 25-yard line, you might try to put the ball on Fields' foot. And I see Peyton with the last name that we both have trouble pronouncing, Theodosopoulos, warming up on the sidelines. He's their regular kicker. He was the kicker last year during the state championship game. So you kind of wonder if maybe he's going to be the guy. He's got the kicking tee in hand. You got to wonder if he's maybe the guy that they might give an opportunity to.
3rd down 11, as it's going to be Bowes to try and keep it himself to pick up a first down. He's going to be wrapped up at the 25-yard line. A timeout is going to be called by Steele, and now we will see what exactly they will do. A gain of 2 to the 26, and it's 4th down and 9. And this is now, what do the Bobcats do? If they don't pick it up, Governors will have around maybe minute and 12, maybe minute 11 left to go here in the ball game with no timeouts. If you try and kick a field goal and you make it, you're up by 10, almost the ball game right there, because the Governors have to score and then get the onside kick and score again. So Theodopoulos, however you say his name.
Theodosopoulos.
There you go.
That's how I'm saying it.
It's we'll see if he's going to try for a field goal. So it'll be about a
43 yards.
Yeah, 43, 42-yard kick here from where they're at. And that's a long field goal opportunity, but you got to pick up 9 yards here on 4th down if you're the Bobcats. So it's almost I shouldn't say a no-win situation, because they can easily win this no matter what they do. And maybe we'll see here what they're going to try. And they might try and bait the Governors to go offside. If they do that, they can move up 4 yards and make it 4th and 4 because they still got 2 timeouts here. Murray will go in motion. They're going to go for it here. They're going to hand it off right up the middle. Fields is going to pick up a first down, and that's going to be the ball game. Fields will get the first down inside the 15 to the 13. A gain of 13 yards for Fields. And the Brookings Bobcats are going to win the ball game here because all they got to do is go to victory formation and take 1 to 2 knees. Actually, they only need 1 knee. And the Governors are going to fall to 4-2 on the season. Governors lost 2 back in their first state championship. In their second state championship, they lost 2 games as well. But they did not lose all of last year, and they're going to lose twice. Once to Yankton, here to Brookings, as they'll take 1 knee with 35 seconds to go, as they lead 21-14. Bowes will take the knee. That's going to do it. The Brookings Bobcats at Dana J. Dykow Stadium will beat the Pierre Governors 21-14, as they are now 7-0 on the season. The Pierre Governors now at 4-2 with just the Mitchell Colonels and the Douglas Patriots left on their schedule. The Governors now will look like they're going to have to go on the road to try and get to the state championship here in a couple of weeks. We'll step aside for 3 minutes and come back with a post-game show. The Brookings Bobcats beat the Pierre Governors 21-14. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Dana J. Dykow Stadium and into the post-game show, the Pierre Governors, they fall here tonight 21-14, now 4-2 on the season. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. And Greg, that second half, what a fun second half it was. The Governors were held scoreless again, and they're 2 losses now. They have been held scoreless in the second half. It was 29-29 at the break against Yankton. Yankton scored 23 unanswered points. Here in this game, it was 11 points in the second half for Brookings, none for Pierre. And there's your difference in a ball game. You got to find a way to score in the second half at any point. And they had that opportunity. 4th and goal from the 1, an 18-play drive that they just couldn't cap off with any points.
Yeah, and I think the difference between the first half and the second half for Brookings is Brookings made a number of mistakes in the first half. 4 fumbles, only one of them resulted in a turnover, and the Governors took advantage and almost took advantage of a couple of huge penalties that kept that drive alive, that 18-play drive alive in the second half. They just were not able to get the ball into the end zone once they got it inside the 10-yard line. And so unfortunately for the Governors, come up just a little bit short tonight, but these are 2 really even football teams. This was a fun ball game. I mean, this was a fun ball game to watch, a fun ball game to call. If you don't have any allegiances on either side, if you're just a football fan, this is a fun football game to watch.
Absolutely. A 21-14 win for the Brookings Bobcats. Both teams had 1 turnover. Brookings fumbled the ball in the first half. Pierre threw an interception in the second half as the Governors turned the ball over on downs once. So did the Brookings Bobcats. 2 field goals for Keegan Fields in the red zone for this Brookings Bobcat team. If both those 2 don't go in, it's still probably, we're probably in overtime right now instead of being 21-14 because they probably don't go for 2. They just go for the extra point. But those 2 field goals were big. If the Governors had the opportunities and they elected to not go for a field goal, and you can't blame them. It was 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. But that's that one play that hurts for the Governors when you look back and say, man, one goes in, it's a completely different ball game, and Brookings is trying to play from behind instead of trying to take the lead late or midway, I guess, at the beginning of the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and the star factor tonight coming into this game, Josh Burai for the Bobcats, he was the focus of the Governor defense all night. But the difference in this game was Keegan Fields. The 78-yard touchdown pass that ended up being the winning touchdown, made some big runs, especially in the second half, made some tough runs along with those 2 field goals. So he was the difference maker tonight for the Bobcats. For the Governors, not a lot of secrets. It was a lot of McGuire-Rasky again tonight. Unfortunately, they just could not get him uncorked. He made some big runs, but could really just not get him uncorked for that big, long 20, 30, 40 yard run or more. And so for the Governors tonight, they come up just a little bit short. But I tell you what, if these teams meet again at some point in the playoffs, that's going to be a knockdown dragout because these are 2 very evenly matched teams.
The 2 losses right now for the Pierre Governors felt like playoff games in Yankton and here at Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium. And the Governors, they lost at Yankton and now at Brookings, and will most likely, to try and get to the state championship, will have to go through one of those 2 teams. Brookings and Yankton will play in week 9 to determine who probably the number 1 seed is. I don't see Yankton or Brookings losing next week before they get a chance, or did they play next week already?
No, they play in 2 weeks. Brookings has Spearfish next week. Yankton has Douglas next week, but then they meet in week 9 here in Brookings. And so that will be a key battle. And at that point, the way these 2 teams are going, that's really just going to be a battle for the number 1 seed. I mean, right now, those 2 teams are probably going to end up 1 and 2 in the playoff seeds.
And the Governors now have to win next week, because if they don't beat Mitchell next week, then they might drop to the 4 seed and have to then play the number 1 seed in that, which, again, take your pick between Yankton and Brookings. They can go either way at this point, being 1 or 2. But you want to be that 3 seed. You'd rather play the 6 seed than have to try and play the 5 seed at home in the first round. So a lot is at stake for the Pierre Governors. Last couple of years, it kind of just felt like Governors are going to roll into that number 1 seed and get their way into the state championship. This year, they're going to have to find a way to go on the road, because there is, unless somehow we're going to see Yankton and Brookings lose to Spearfish and Douglas next week, and then one of these 2 teams lose again, the Governors are going to be the 3 seed at best going into the playoffs.
And we got a little bit of a upset alert going on out west. Sturgis right now is putting a thumping on Mitchell midway through the 4th quarter. Sturgis leads the Colonels 42-20. So that may be a little bit unexpected, and so we'll just have to see if the Mitchell Colonel team that comes into Hollister Field next week is maybe a little bit angry or a little bit beat up or maybe a little bit of both.
And for tonight, Josh Barai, he had 88 yards on 16 carries. He had 2 catches for just 3 yards. Fields, again, as Greg said, he had that 78-yard touchdown catch and the 2 field goals that pretty much gave the Brookings Bobcats the win. Fields had 70 yards on 11 carries. Brand had 2 carries for 3 yards. Bose had negative 22 yards, 8 carries, a lot of sacks in that game from the Pierre Governors. But he did go 8 for 11 for 2 touchdowns, 155 yards. One was a struck of 6 yards and that 78-yard throw to Fields. For the Pierre Governors, McGuire Rasky, he had 27 carries for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. He carried both in on the ground, both in the first half. Colin Bergerman had 5 yards on 5 carries. Kaiser lost 9 yards on the missed snap, and Keenels gained 5 yards on 9 carries. Keenels was 6 of 11 from the air, have 81 yards, an interception to his credit. Rasky caught 2 passes for 2 yards, Bullwig a catch for 26, Booth a catch for 27, and Merkwan had 2 catches for 25 yards to round out the offense for the Pierre Governors as they fall here tonight, 21-14. Greg, again, the Governors are going to walk away in a tough loss here, but this was a really good played football game. And the Governors have got to feel pretty confident going back in against either Brookings or Yankton in the playoffs. Obviously, they got to get there first by winning that first game, but they got to feel pretty confident to go against one of these 2 teams again and feel like they can get a win.
Yeah, and you don't want to talk about moral victories, especially at this point of the season, but the Governors played well tonight. I mean, had a couple of mistakes. They cleaned up some of the stuff that they had problems with last week. I mean, lots of penalties last week. Tonight I can only remember just a handful of penalties. So they cleaned that up. Cut the turnovers down. I think there was just the 1 interception. I don't think there was a fumble tonight. So just the 1 turnover. But so they cleaned up some of the mistakes from last week. But this is a very good Brookings ball club. I mean, make no mistake about that. They're 7-0 for a reason. They're physical. They run the ball really well. They run the counter. You can't just concentrate on Josh Burai and give a lot of credit. I was impressed tonight with Jackson Bose, the junior quarterback for the Bobcats. I mean, he did a nice job tonight in keeping the Governors off balance. And so the Bobcats have a lot of weapons. If these 2 teams would meet again in the state semifinals or the state finals, it'll be an entertaining one. I can tell you that.
The Governors, they lose 21-14 here tonight against the Brookings Bobcats, now at 4-2 on the season, as they will now face the Mitchell Colonels in the final Friday regular season game next week at home at Hollister. Then we'll have a couple of Thursday games for you as they will be facing Douglas on the final week of the season, and their first round opponent will be a Thursday night game here in the Class 11 AA regular season coming to an end, and then as well as the playoffs here in the next 3 weeks. As that will wrap things up for us here tonight from Dana J. Dykhouse Stadium. It's always fun to come here again. The second time that I've been able to be in the press box, and it's always fun to watch a football game from up here in the press boxes. Enjoyed another one tonight, although the Governors didn't get the win as they fall 21-14. Thanks to Jen Hanna back in the station. For Greg Dean to my right, I'm John Winkler. Back on the air next week, Friday, for the Pierre Governors and the Mitchell Colonels. That's going to be pregame at 6:35. Back on the air tomorrow for Pierre Governor Volleyball as they take on the O'Gorman Lady Knights. First serve is at 4:30, on the air around 4:15, as the Pierre Governor Volleyball team will be back in action at home at Riggs High School. Final score once again here tonight, the Brookings Bobcats, they win 21-14 over the Pierre Governors as we say good night from SDSU.